the way to the max.
We
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by the way to the max.
Ay.
This shit slap, this shit black.
shit
Tell the
black,
DJ, won't you bring that back?
Bring
Turn
that
this
back.
motherfucker up, had the whole club spin.
But I can tell you one thing that I know for sure that's changed: the feeling of unconditional love. That feeling of like I can see why. Like sometimes people say you shouldn't need a kid to turn your life around. Nah, I don't subscribe to that because I've seen it in my own eyes. I've seen the most knucklehead niggas, get a son or a daughter, turn that shit around. It's just like off of like, wow. And it's like, people say you shouldn't need a kid for that, but it's like, but you gotta understand because it's like when you have especially when you have it, when you want to be a father and and it actually is here, it gives you a reason to actually fight through life. Because before I'm just doing things for myself. Yeah, it may help my family, but everything was for me. So now I got to see. I was like, every decision I'll be thinking, I'll be like, how it's going to impact him or things like that. And it's nerve-wracking too because the life I live, I've like, and the path I have is like, I've seen stories of people who wanted to get their life was getting together, and then before they really got a chance to live it together, yeah, baby. Before they got a chance to live it together, get it all together, like something happens to them and stuff like that, and I try to like get the thoughts out. Then just like you see stuff that happen to babies and and trafficking and just all that. It's like it's so much like so, and like sometimes I'm not
so
around.
Much for you to worry about. You're now responsible for another life that's not your own. Like, so I totally understand what you're saying.
I couldn't ask for a better mother though. I couldn't ask for a better mother, because despite our differences with him, for me and her mother skills is off the chain. It's the shit. So that's why, I think I've told her before, but she may have received it, maybe not, because my dumbass decisions in the past and stuff. So, but she's very like protective of her girls, and I knew the way she mothers to them. I knew with a son, she would, she's a smart woman too, so that she would like make sure he, learns the right things. Like I have a mother, like she makes sure he gonna learn the right things. Definitely needs to learn as a man as he gets older and navigate through life, and a lot of women like that out here wouldn't educate him the way he needs to be educated. And so, the way she protects, mothers protect, but, there's mothers that protect, to make sure nothing's going to get in between that the bond of her kids and stuff like that. No man, no nothing. Because some women can love their kids, but let a man get in between. Nah. It shows, so that's
which
why
is
one year
beautiful. I think that's great. Even like you said, with the differences, you guys have a great co-parenting relationship, and I think that's wonderful. That it's great. That is great.
Yeah.
And that you can be the father you want to be in his life, and that's wonderful. I'm very happy for you because I know how you wanted to be a daddy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you still waiting?
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you for tapping in to the Authentic Podcast.
Yes, of course. Because I don't know what's happening really.
We were just vibing, baby. I'm host.
Just vibing.
JT,
I am. So I'm
JT,
here.
aka Mr. Love Game, here with
Asher-JaMyi.
my homie, one of my besties that I've met out here in LA, who's helped me get it all together in my life, in my career, and as a friend, Charlotte Plummer.
I'm so happy to be here with you and Asher-JaMyi and myself, and I'm grateful for you too. You're a wonderful, wonderful friend that I have in LA, one of my top friends and business partners. I really see you as my brother. You're my family. That's why I talk hard to you sometimes, but you know it's all love.
And we got
and I think I'm trying to think if you were. I think Poetic Dance Hall was my first theatrical production outside of my schooling. I think so.
For a lot of people in LA, they said this. They said that.
Yeah, I really think so. I like a production, like, you know, outside of a school and some other stuff. But yeah, so I'm grateful for that because I learned a lot and I got to do a lot of things. And because of you, put me in a lot of different places, from production to assisting directing to set design to stunt court, everything. So I've learned a lot. I've learned so many different things working on your productions, and they've all been successful. I don't think there's one that I've worked with you that wasn't successful, that wasn't sold out.
Yeah, the ones you were on were good, but I had a dud. I had a dud.
Well, I can only talk about my experiences.
Yeah, I've had a dud.
If anyone knows theater, it's theater. There's always going to be something. So
15
at the end of the day, they've all been really successful. They've all worked out.
And I'm gonna bring in my buddy on that as you're talking about it. My boy Tim.
Yo.
Hey Tim.
What's good?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm good. How are you?
My boy, and also my boy Tim. He's he gonna be on shortly. My boy Tim Welch right here, my big supporter in LA, my LA bestie, one of the godfathers of my special host today, Asher-JaMyi. Say hey.
What up, little homie?
Get it, look at it, get it. Let him know. Get it. There you go. Get it.
Go JaMyi.
What's up? She was just talking about the plays and stuff and talking about how she has seen some bad plays. I said I had a dud or two. I've had a dud or two in the productions, you know. And it's just funny because you've been.
Let me speak about the ones I've been blessed to be a part of.
I've enjoyed every single one of them.
Yeah, Tim into more of my shows and not just plays, it's productions period than anybody.
I do remember you've been at every one, every production. I think every event that you probably have done, if not all of them, from when I've known you. So I don't know. Obviously.
Also, you've seen Tim face plenty of times.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, because people. That's why people be trying to say they support. I be like, I know what support is. People are like, oh, I got you. You know, I'm like, no, I know what support is. You know, and Tim's been more than just a supporter. And it's crazy because Tim was like my first real friend out here, and usually ain't too many people from 2011. When I was there in January 2011, when I moved out here, ain't too many people that I still talk to this day. That I'm actually close with. Like I say, I still see people from 2011 every now and then. I might see them on that social media, but they ain't my friends, you know.
It be like that sometimes.
And that's okay. You only need to be honest. If you have 1 to 2 really good supportive friends, you are winning. You are winning.
What you say,
about quality, not
trying to get in. What you say?
Yes, friends. I was just getting ready to say that.
Go ahead.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Because go ahead. What you say?
You co-signed that?
Yeah. You like?
Co-signed.
You like? Yes. Go ahead. What were you about to say, Charlotte?
Don't worry, Daddy. He said you got me now, so it's all good. You know.
Exactly.
That's your number. That's good. You're doing better than most.
Yeah, and you know, but it's crazy because it's like, you know, I get this stigma, and I'm both probably seeing it that I get into it a lot of people and things like that, and I'm like, No, just the ones I get into it make it so loud and boisterous that it seems like I'm just always getting to it. 'Cause I was like, there's people I've known forever. I've never argued with.
Well, okay. It depends on what your definition of quote unquote getting into it, because I think that there's always going to be disagreements with people. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just there are how many people on this earth? 7 something billion. That's 7 something billion views, 7 something billion attitudes, beliefs, ideologies, behaviors, all traits. You know, so it's like, you know, you can't expect to be on the same page with every single person, even amongst your friends. Like, how many times me and you done had those arguments over that football?
But we've never had all the arguments we had, Tim. We've never argued like disrespectfully.
That's
ever. Like you're one of the few people that I've not. I won't say few because there's a few people I've known that I've never gotten into it with too. But we've argued over just sports and like spades and shit like that. But we've never gotten into it.
Spades is a different. Well, you know what I'm saying? We can't throw that in there.
Punch in your face.
we can't throw that in there. Spades is just spades. That's gonna happen.
But spades is cool because after the game, you be mad for a little bit, and after it's like, all right, yeah, so what's up? You be mad for a little bit because, you know, spades, you spending 2-3 hours of your time to play a game and stuff. You better win.
Good because I'm a competitor. You know, in fact, I much rather have there be tension than there would be like a little peachy spades game. I mean,
somebody compliments you.
I mean, you're playing for participation kind of thing.
Right. That's a little more weird to me. In fact, that is funny because the time that we played spades, so really quick summary. We were playing spades. It was me and my brother against him and his girlfriend. And she was more like playing for participation. And James says, no, this is fucking war.
He's up on the code.
Yep.
Yeah, but
I'm a competitor. I'm not a participation.
But right, no. I just played Uno last night with family. So, you know, I'll play to win every time.
I love that. I love it.
How is it though, Tim? Because we talk about, because your brother is a father-in-law, and where you at in life? Are you looking to be a father to your girl soon, eventually, and when?
I'd say within the next 2 years. Yeah, it's just you know my schedule, man. It's
you tell her that, and she listening to this. She gonna clock it down. She's like, all right, it's
she right there on the couch. She right there on the couch.
Oh, what's up, Jen? That's how you know you got a real relationship. He's like, if those people are like, man, babe, you gotta listen to this episode. He's like, nah, you're in the episode with me.
Hey, you know, that's 7+ years, man. You know, that's where there's Tim, there's Jennifer. So,
what? Go ahead.
But no, to your point. I mean, to your question, that is something that I really want to do. You know, it's just as of right now with my schedule right now, it's insane. So, but I do plan. That is definitely the goal for sure. Yeah,
man. I just know I better be a groomsman, this motherfucker, because I want anything lower than a groomsman because I will want to crash the fuck out of it. And Asher gonna be about Asher gonna be about 4 by then. He gonna know jiu-jitsu and taekwondo and shit. He gonna beat up all the kids there. I'm telling you.
Hey, the thing is, though, it depends on how many bridesmaids she has. Because I at least got Andre and Chris as groomsmen.
Yeah.
I can't not have them. I don't even think my mom would allow that.
Groomsmen anyway.
Huh?
Guys don't usually have 2 groomsmen unless they're on a budget.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would be the case. I'm not trying to. I did not mean that in any pretentious.
Oh no, it's cool because I'm not a groomsman.
I think Tim was just saying.
I'm not a groomsman.
You have to match
Tim.
the bridesmaid with the groomsman. So depending on how many bridesmaids will be also depending on, you got to discuss that.
Yes. Just manage that big family. I'm sure she's gonna have about 12 girls, whatever. 12 bridesmaids.
I don't think you better make him a groomsman.
Yeah, it's
because if not,
or
we
something.
fight.
You better find something.
Me and Asher coming. We're gonna fight too. We're gonna
you
fight.
Are definitely okay. We'll say this. So since I'm studying for the LSAT, they teach you not to make strong logical force words. So we'll say this. Putting you in the groomsman as a groomsman is in serious consideration. How about that?
Good
answer. That is great.
Because I'm telling you be at the altar. Is there anyone who rejects this marriage right now? Speak now. But I'm like, yeah, me, the nigga in the 16th row.
I could definitely see you be like, what y'all know about that love game?
Let's miss the love game now.
Oh, dude, I can't stand you, dude. Remember when we met D from the Wayans brothers? Remember that? And that's the first thing, and that was the first thing you told her.
It was an Anne Marie.
What you know about that love game? Me and Andre were fucking dying, dude. Like,
and your mom was so mad. She's like, I can't stand him. And then here I come out, because I'm still hood. Hollywood can't change me.
Dude, to this day, whenever I hear that song, I think about you for sure. That is your song. Like,
hey, in 10 plus years later, it still holds rain because I'm still hood. Hollywood could change me. That shit stays. Yeah.
Charlotte, we used to be walking down the street. We used to be walking down the street, and at random times, like he has Tourette's, he would yell that.
Oh,
because of Hollywood, because I'm still hood. Hollywood couldn't change me. And like random times, and people just be driving by looking at us like, and I'm like, that's all him. He's the one.
You were like, I ain't taking no credit for this foolishness.
And you got my other line too. I used to be like, they're gonna love me for my ambition.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Yes.
Oh
man, dude.
2 lines that still hold true to this day. Those are my 2 favorite lines. So shout out to Nicki Minaj and Wale, DC hometown. Them 2 lines. Those 2 lines.
I'm going to hold on,
so
and you're going to be saying that forever. That's what this is.
Oh, now I got a car now too. Let that moment for life accidentally hit the joint. Oh, I'm out the window because I'm still hood Hollywood.
I don't think Asher would appreciate that.
He got all the energy in the world. He got the energy like me. Ain't that right?
Oh my goodness, he is such a dumpling.
Yeah.
And he's so calm.
Yeah.
He don't cry unless he's angry.
Yeah, he doesn't fuss much.
That's really good. Yeah, that's really good.
He's just like happy. I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to sit here, listen, look around.
You like the mommy milk? You like the mommy milk?
Did Andre join already?
He tried to get on. I keep sending it to him. I should have recorded that conversation right there because he said your mom. I just got off the phone with your brother. He just said your. He's like, I gotta get off your. He's like, my mom here. It's funny because I just talked to you, Chris, the other day too.
You did?
Yeah, we had a long heart to heart. Has Chris hit you up since in the last couple of days?
So what?
Has Chris hit you up in the last couple of days?
Mm-mm.
It was like about Tuesday or so. I had a little heart to heart with him on Clubhouse. I tried to start a Clubhouse, my first Clubhouse room, and I didn't know how to change the name. And Chris just jumped on and we talked for like an hour.
Clubhouse?
That little shit that you gotta have an iPhone for, where you talk the audio app.
Never heard of it.
You never heard of Clubhouse?
I haven't.
I ain't even mad. Ain't that serious anyway? You know.
Is that new? Is that like a new thing?
I don't know. You serious? Are you playing stupid? Charlotte, you know about Clubhouse, right?
No, I'm for real.
Charlotte, you know about Clubhouse either?
I heard of. I think the only thing I heard of. I think it's called House Party. I think it's called like a house. I think I heard like a house party app where it's kind of like a Zoom kind of thing. But that's really it. Well, she never heard of it either, so at least I'm not the only one.
Clubhouse must not be popping like I thought it would. I'm sitting there like, they don't know about the Clubhouse. It ain't that. It's not that serious though, for real.
Yeah, even Jennifer never heard of Clubhouse either.
Well, y'all in love and y'all don't care about the outside world like that, so probably it ain't that serious anyway.
So
what time you got? Go ahead.
Is it like a Zoom?
I was thinking like you can't hear me. I just realized you couldn't hear me. Sorry. Well, why don't you tell us? And first of all, I'm an Android. I don't use iPhones at all.
I am team iPhone.
Yeah.
I just got an iPhone for the first time a month ago.
Yeah, isn't that an iPhone app that you're talking about though?
Yeah, it is an iPhone app.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about it.
Yeah, it ain't that serious, man.
So really quick,
another way to chat, but I don't know.
Really quick side note. Yesterday, James, I bought some shoes, and guess what the shoes are called?
The
Asher Blue.
I thought you were gonna say the Lil Nas X's.
No. Ha.
Asher Blue.
Asher.
They're
Asher, you're wearing blue too.
They're Yeezys.
Why are you looking?
Yeezys Asher Blue.
Okay, all right.
You just got those, you're saying? Or are you about to get them?
No, I just got them last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
See?
New anything new is nice.
I'm a true Godfather. See?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're hilarious.
See, I knew I was gonna do this today. And so it was fate that I got the shoes yesterday.
Yeah, but you ain't got them on though, nigga. So
yeah, I don't have them yet.
You can be cloud chasing them.
They're not in my physical possession. Yes, you are correct about that.
Tim, I'm about to get you off.
You know what?
I got like 3 guests. I got 3 guests waiting to get on, and a few more is gonna come on. Now, what is your ultimate goal? What is your ultimate goal, Tim, that you're trying to accomplish from business, love, and like legacy?
Man, that's a
very
damn. That is a really good question. Okay, as far as business goes, and sort of legacy as well. I just want to help people, you know. I feel like me being a future what you would call it, a public servant, being a lawyer, I know that a lot of people are are helpless and that quite frankly need help and need guidance and just need help. A lot of people have been dealt a bad hand in life, and I just want to try to help as much people as I can. Really.
You mean clients?
People. I don't want to say clients makes it a little bit more
Corny.
economic, you know. I'll just say people. And I just want people to know that I really am passionate about helping people. As far as love goes, I want a family. You know, I want little Tims running around, or Tiffany's, whatever. You know, I just
that sounds scary. Right here, little Tims running around. I don't know, cause you ugly, dog.
Never.
You was an ugly ass motherfucker.
I look good.
Ain't he ugly? Ain't he ugly? Look at him. Ain't he ugly? Look at him. Look at him, son. Ain't he ugly? Yeah.
I am
ugly mother.
I've been called a lot of things in my day, but I've never been called ugly.
Well, people gonna be watching this and be like, "Well, I don't know who lied to you. It's your ass."
Oh, stop that foolishness!
Hey, man,
I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything.
I got the beauty in the brains, man.
Yeah, you do got that damn brain. Pause. I don't even say pause, but that just sounded a bit bad.
Yeah, that did.
He was like, "Yeah, nah, that ain't flying." Tim, my brother, I appreciate you, man. I love you, brother.
It's all love.
Great seeing you, Tim.
Good seeing you too.
Hey.
I love ugly folks. But I love
all right, man. Good luck at the vet.
Take care of your dad. He gonna need it.
Take care. He's
he ain't paying you no mind. He's like, all right, get out my sight.
I'm out.
Okay, hey. Take care. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Keith, yo, this is dope,
man. Yo. What it do, babe? It's been a minute. A long time, brother. Yes, sir.
03 in the house right now. Let's go. Paper Ranch 03, we repping. What little man? Let's go. Hey.
What you eating?
How you been, though, man?
You eating? It looks like you enjoying that food.
Oh, you don't know about the chicken wings and mama sauce?
Fried piece of chicken on bread. I'm just got the money.
All good.
Nah, let her know what you're eating. Let the world know about what you're crushing on right now.
Well, it was a piece of chicken. Hey, everybody.
Done it. Yep, hey, done. Eat it off.
What's up?
Hey, let them know the history of the mumbo sauce. That mumbo sauce be hitting.
Still chicken wings and mumbo sauce back there?
Hell no, they don't even know what the hell that is when I say mumbo sauce.
Over here in the
But people who have gone home, people from LA that have gone to DC and have had the mumbo sauce, they'll hit me like, yo, that mumbo sauce is
good. Hold on a second.
Howdy, brother. Mute yourself or something. You all over the place.
My fault. Well, me taking myself on mute. I just pulled up on my mother's crib. I got the family over here and everything.
No, but this is good.
I just pulled up on my family.
This fits Hosni though. This fits Hosni. This is Hosni. So that's why I'm not tripping. I'm like, this Hosni. It's cool. I get it. He wanted to make sure he was on time. I get it. Hosni was the first one. As soon as it hit 3 o'clock, you heard a bing, bing, bing. I was like, Hosni, ready.
I thank you for everything else.
He called me in the morning. I'm asleep. I got calls and just send me the links. And I'm like, dude, look. It's 3 hours ahead. So while you calling me at 8 a.m., it's 5 a.m. here.
Sometimes I forget.
Yeah, I was like, yo.
But that's why I didn't call you back when you sent that text at 5:30 in the morning.
That's because I knew it was 8:30 there.
I'm still asleep, man. I got a baby just like you.
Yes, that's what. How is that, man? Welcome. I didn't say new fatherhood. This is your how many?
3.
All boys, right?
All three boys.
How's it feel, man, with little Kobe?
Oh man, it's great. But I gotta get used to everything again. It's been a long time since I had to do that.
It's a crazy story about this man, Charlotte. Like, Keith is a legend in the streets of Burtonsville, our area, and stuff, Silver Spring and stuff like that.
I don't know
but
about all that. I don't want to be out there.
Keith was one of the most interesting people I've ever met. Because Keith's one of the biggest. He's like 6'6", 3-something. One of the best athletes, pure raw athletes. Well, he didn't even have to. It was just out of, and he was one of the best, football players on the team, and could have probably been the best if he had a better work ethic. I'm sure he could admit to that, But just his raw talent alone made him good, and and he also was like a intimidating guy. And I was just telling my son's mother.
Did I ever try to intimidate you? Is the question?
No, ever. No. That's the thing. That's why I love this man. But I was just telling my son's mother this. I've never seen nobody knock more people out than this man right here, visually.
I don't know.
Just by a look, a glance.
No. But here's the thing, though. I'm not trying to incriminate. I say it like this for a reason.
Recollection about what
he always knocked out the people who deserved it.
It's from high school, so you couldn't do nothing to me anyway. It was from high school, so it really wouldn't matter.
This is the high school edition.
You know what I'm saying?
Going back to high school.
But he never messed with somebody who didn't deserve it. That's what I was going to get to. He never got with somebody that didn't deserve it. If they fucked him up, they deserved it. Because I guess people, I'm like, this motherfucker's big. Why would you try this man? But people feel froggy. He gotta let them know. Fight. I'm like, whoo. But when it came to me and him, the most coolest. He always had my back. If anybody was gonna fuck with me, I knew that he was like, yo. He was one of the few people that I knew would have my back. And we weren't even tight, hung out tight and stuff at school. But he was always just, just genuine, kind dude. He was this kind dude, but we all, the most angry people.
That's his nature is to be protective. And the fact that he's just, I guess, physically big, supposedly.
If we was cool in high school and if I say I fucked with you, then you had nothing to worry about. And if I didn't, then I didn't care. I didn't care about you.
And when he cared about you, he'll let you know he cared about you. He'll let you know, and without words, just in actions.
Of course.
I always felt good around him more than a lot of people. Even when I was close with, because I always knew that he rocked with me just because I was just being me. And he always made me feel good about it because, you remember it was hard trying to fit in being myself and the way I carried myself, and I get it now as I'm older, but he always was just it's my nigga right here. And so it's just good to see us as grown men, evolve and things like that, so certain people I talk to, when I talk to them, I get hyped and happy to talk to. When I talk to Keith's one, there's a few other people I talk to as a kid that I've known since I was younger that when I talk to them, I get hyped for, or just feel good about, So that's why I had to get them on. I meant to hit you sooner, but I've been so busy and going through. So it was I was hitting people mostly the last 2 days. Hey, you trying to get on? You trying to get on?
It's cool, bro.
I thought you were still in the hospital. Actually, if you don't, because you're an inspiration, dog. You don't understand. If you're cool with talking about what you've been going through over the last year or so.
I don't care. I don't mind talking about it.
Go ahead, brother.
You wanted me to talk. You wanted me to start talking about it right now.
Yeah. You get your slip on. You feeling good? If you're cool with it. If you're cool.
Listen, I'm just stepping away from the camera for a second. I'm just stepping away from the camera for a second.
You got you, bro.
Whole time I see you pouring that, drinking that Jose, man. Pour a nigga a cup one time.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
You already know.
Man, Bruce, I'm gonna get you in a sec. I'm gonna get to you. We'll get to Keith right now. If you're still down, because your story is.
I'm gonna tell you. So if I gotta tell you, I had to tell you proper. Like 3 years ago, I fell. I fell down 16 steps backwards while I was on crutches. And so when I fell, I was paralyzed from the waist down. So I had the first surgery in West Virginia at West Virginia University Hospital. And I was able to move my legs right after the first surgery. About 5 days later, I had to be rushed back to emergency surgery because my legs gave out again. I was at the sink washing my face and everything, and my legs gave out again. So they did a second surgery, basically on the same part. It was like a revision of the same part. Went through therapy for like 6 months. November, what was it? November 6th, 2017. All 3 surgeries happened in like a year at first. Watching, like, I think I was watching the Virginia Tech Miami game, and I had just got up because it was commercial, and my legs gave out again. So then I had to have a third surgery, but this time the surgery was more extensive, and so didn't need no therapy. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I was fine right after the surgery or whatever. But what started happening was the wound on my back was split every so often. And so 2018, the end of 2018, going into 2019, I was in a hospital for 6 months with an infection in my back and blood clots. And so
6 months straight?
6 months straight.
Damn.
6 months straight. Left there with my back pretty much closed. Left the hospital pretty much my back closed. So you're saying like March of 2019. Then within like April, my back had a little small tear in it. I'm like, man, this just won't stop. So I make it through the whole summer of 19, basically with my back splitting off and open. It does that for about a year till 2020. In like July, they did another surgery. They went in there and just did what's called a debridement and tried to clean out the infected area and tissue that they saw, took tissue samples. They took the tissue samples, it came back straight, and then, so the hope result was we hope it closed. So
they hoped it closed, or that
was the idea. That was the idea of the surgery. Like, if we get all the bacteria or whatever, you had to understand it was operating like in the same spot. And so my doctor who was doing, my orthopedic doctor was really the one doing it. And because plastic surgery, who really deals with like wounds that don't heal properly, hadn't really stepped in. And I'm not known who that's dealing, that's who's dealing with wounds at that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking my surgeon did it, you know what I'm saying? He's the one gonna do it. So I go back to the hospital, and like now we swing to 21. Why the reasons why I was in the hospital, like from the beginning of the year all the way up to now. My back splits open, and this point, and like it's got a smell. You know, I'm like laying there, I can smell my back and all types of shit. So I'm like, man, I don't care. I ain't taking no for an answer today. And so I went to the hospital, and the problem is a lot of doctors, which I find really messed up, they won't touch you if another doctor's already cut you, pretty much, unless you're paying out of pocket for real. And I'm talking about really paying, unless you won't find one of them doctors who don't care, who feel like, man, enough is enough, I can fix this mistake. And what you'll get is a lot of times, because I've been to other hospitals, what you get a lot of time is they'll be like, man, you need to go back to who did this. Like, we want you to go, but you should go back who did this. Hey, we talked to the doctor over there. They said set up an appointment and come see them. I be like, Slim, my whole back, like, you can smell my back. Like, come on, get the fuck on.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, that's crazy. So finally, I go in the hospital, but what happened was they were gonna let me go at first. It just so happened, you know, I started to come down with like a fever and shit. So when the lady went to do like, they get your vitals before they discharge you, so they can say you all right. Well, when she checked my temperature was 103, and so she was like, "Oh, hold up, let me go run to the doctor." And after that, they was like, "All right, man, what's up?" So they tested my blood. All right, so come to find out, at that time I had like three different bacteria in my bloodstream, and at that point, the doctor like, man, you know, usually I've only seen one case like this in my profession, and like usually like people die or whatever. And I'm like, man, well, this is y'all. Like, it ain't me. Like, what you want me to dig in my back and do the surgery myself? And this is what I'm telling them. Like,
right.
I come here because y'all made me come here. I said, I done tried y'all way for 2 years, like, with this wound. I said, I done everything y'all done said do, from whatever treatment to whatever, went to whatever wound care. Y'all say, at some point, man, you need to just fix it. And so finally, like, the plastic surgeon came down there, and they was like, we're going to do the surgery. Well, you do the surgery. I'm like, all right, man. Well, first of all, I can't stress to y'all how much GW is some shit. So, like, after they do the first surgery, I have a big ass hole in my back, for lack of better words. So, it's supposed to be like that because I'm about to go to surgery the next morning. They did one part of the surgery. We gonna go right back to surgery the next day. But that night, like, if you thought I was gonna sleep all night, you crazy. So so I walk out the joint like, man, I'm in pain, man. Like, something got to be done. Where the doctor at? Man, for like 3 hours, I can't get a doctor to even show his face, right? This doctor, it's at nighttime. So I understand it's like one doctor for all the patients on the floor. Yeah, so I get it, but like, you should know about every patient then. So, or you need to get another doctor. And GW has more than enough money to pay another doctor to be up there with him. So I'm lost. So I'm like, hey man, you know what? The hell with this. Hey, I'm about to leave AMA. Tell him I'm about to go ahead. I'm about to go to another hospital. Holding my back and all. Like, hey, y'all not about to do me like this. Like, y'all know y'all just cutting on me for like 6 hours, man. Cut this shit out. So when I say I want to leave AMA, when I tell you like the door to the doctor's office is like two doors down, they said they couldn't find this man for 3 hours. And so they did it. So he finally comes out. I talk to him. He gives me the pain medicine. I'm like, man, like, you some real shit though. And walk back in my room. Like, I don't care. You don't affect my surgery in no way, shape, or form. You won't be here tomorrow. As soon as they come in, you gone. You're not even part of this team. You just an overseer. Bye. So, I mean, I'm heated, bro. Like, all the pain I was in, I was heated, bro. I can take a lot of pain, but that one, yeah, that shit broke me. So that shit, like, yeah. I'm like, man, hell nah. So
how many surgeries have you had from then to now? From your first surgery to now, how many surgeries you had over the course of the years?
In the 3 years, I done had 9 surgeries. I done had 5 this year.
Damn, this year alone.
5 this year alone. See, I went through. I had the first 3 when it first happened, and then I had the other. I had the other one in between, and then I had the final 5 of them this year.
Do you feel this is it, or you just prepare for whatever?
I mean, I'm hoping this is it, man. Like, man, sheesh. Like, I'm hoping this is it.
But you're inspiration, many. When I get on, I'll be getting online. I just be like, man, I'll be thinking, like, sometimes you the first person I think about when I do get on Facebook, like, man, what are you doing? And then somehow they read your social media, reads your thoughts too. Because then you're supposed to be the first one on the news feed back in. I'm like, oh, man, it's tough though, man. Like I don't know.
It's a lot for your body to go through. Mentally, physically, emotionally. I think that's a lot to go through mentally, physically, and emotionally.
It definitely had its ups and downs.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing you made it through that.
I'm not, okay.
It is a beautiful blessing. I'm glad that you.
Okay. But it's been a lot. It's been a lot mentally and emotionally. I'm not even gonna hold you. If I was to tell you different, if I ain't tell you I ain't cried real tears or none of that, I'd be lying. Because if I ain't tell you some days I felt like giving up, I'd be lying. But I knew that I couldn't, and I ain't never been the type to really give up. So
yeah.
So and I guess it's why I came out on so many fights, because my whole thing was I'm gonna go harder than you. And that was the mentality that I carried, like with rehab and all that. And so that's how I kept it.
Keep fighting, brother. Keep fighting.
I'm glad that it all worked out. Hope you don't have to go through anything more surgeries or anything else after this.
No, none so far. Yeah. None as of right now that I know of.
Well, from a man with 3 boys, going to switch over to the man with 3 girls. My brother, man.
3 boys and 3 girls.
Yeah, my man, Mr. Poet. Yeah, my man right here. I've known since 9'6". You know, we grew up in literally the same like streets. You know, used to cook him up in the sports game all the time. You know, I had to let him.
Cook who?
I had to cook. You heard me?
That's my dog.
They ain't cook nothing.
You heard me?
They ain't cooking over here.
Let me see if I can get.
Yeah, this brother right here, like he's a poet, an author, like has books out. Like he's a real poet. You know, you got some people that just like, oh, I do some spoken word, or I perform poetry and stuff. No, his man's a real poet. Like he got published books, and we're gonna talk about that in this episode right here. We give it up to my man Bruce Daley.
Respect.
Hi, Bruce. Welcome.
Appreciate that. Ain't this supposed to be about you though, James?
Yeah, but it isn't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's about. This is about life at the high school evolution from high school. You know, this is about right here. You know, because you know, kind of like a little reunion of sort. So it's like whoever can get on as we do this episode and stuff. But it's just about connecting with people and just seeing where we, how far we've come and things like that, and our evolution as men, because we've been through some shit in high school, and well, me and Hosni, we all knew each other from Banneker from 6th grade. So like we've been through our trials and tribulations, and we've made our mistakes and try to grow as men, and it's like I feel this is very important, not just it's like I know Richard said it's about me, but really about me right now is giving back to you guys and reach to you guys out, because even though I still talk to y'all, we don't actually get to talk, and I want to try to get as many people together. Some are still gonna come on and just have a nice little vibe, like homely chat, because we from a small city. I mean, where we grew up at, I know Bruce, you Asian, Jamaican, and music from PG, but like our bond started in a small city in Burtonsville at Paint Branch, for Hosni, Banneker, and so it's like, that small area, and it's like we've had, like I'm living out here in LA. I appreciate the area we grew up at because it was tight knit. We were more tight knit than we realized, and I love being from the high school that we went to, because the way we have the authenticness about us, good, bad, or ugly, that I don't see with too many people that I meet. So I value the experiences we went through, and that's why I wanted to bring you on, because Bruce, you're a man that as great as a father had come to 3 girls, and have also make sure they were good while also doing your career with your little poetry and stuff. I wanted to let people touch in with you about your poetry and like what inspired you and let them know like the books you got out and what the purpose of everything.
When it came to write poetry, I really didn't know how to express. I didn't really know how to express myself to people. You know, I had anger management issues, but poetry kind of soothed me out a little bit, and I was able to just finding myself being able to be creative with my thoughts and my feelings. And I just found joy in just expressing myself when I used to be once, you know, just to myself, and you really couldn't get too much from me. But I was able to reveal myself in my poetry without interruption. You know, sometimes you can talk to people and they'll cut you off and X, Y, Z. But in your poetry, it's like capturing your picture. It's like your picture, but just in words. And I found joy in just revealing myself to the people, and if you receive it or not, you know. Because at the end of the day, I wanted my name and I wanted my words to live long after my body. So I just thought about legacy, and I have children. So if something was to happen to me now, you know, they might have memories of me, but they don't know their father's thoughts. But my grandchildren, they don't know their grandfather's thoughts. So being able to capture my thoughts and my feelings, they can get some of the essence in my foundation and maybe guide them. You know what I mean? So it was that's kind of the route I took with it. But when it came to writing poetry, it actually started when it was a 112 song. 112 song, Smile.
That's my shit off the Part 3 album.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. But I was trying to write my own verse to it. So I was trying to write my own verse, and being as that I wasn't really a singer, it became a poem. And then from there, that's what started me writing poetry.
That didn't stop your ass from trying to sing, though. You swore you was fucking Billy D. Williams or Barry White or something.
I used to be.
I was one motherfucker with a song came on. He'd be into it. You know, you sing like some people sing to themselves. That motherfucker was singing like he in front of everybody. Didn't give a fuck. Donell Jones.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I sing in front of you, even if I can't sing. I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna sing because that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So
don't let no Donell Jones go on. Oh my goodness, it was a rap.
To express yourself without limitation.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it that way. Like, you can't put the cap on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like a fly in a bottle, and there's no cap. But you can restrict yourself. Nah, not me. It's open skies, and I just look to fly. You know what I mean? That's all. Some people like to stay grounded, but nah, the spirit is meant to be elevated. So that's kind of how I look at it. Well, James was actually one of my first friends when I moved out to Silver Spring, because I'm originally from PG. I'm from Highsville, and we ended up moving to Silver Spring to Ventura. And so I think since day one when we moved out there, you know, we was friends. We went back and forth in any sport. We went back and forth. I never played for school because I was always working. I never played for school, but I knew how to carry my own. James would get one up.
He would do well on the team if he really pushed himself. He had a confidence in himself.
I would have went football before basketball. I was more football than basketball. But yeah, for sure.
We had some ballers in our neighborhood. We had some ballers in our neighborhood.
Yeah. I think everybody in the neighborhood could do their thing. So it was but I think nobody really was. You know what I mean? I think nobody really took it as seriously. But
I took it serious. I just think it's an opportunity.
You still take it serious.
Oh yeah, I do.
James was serious with it. I give him that.
He still is.
James will do this. You know, he'll go around. He'll chat to everybody. He be cooking everybody. James wouldn't cook. He was good though. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna never take that. He was so determined when he played ball. You know what I mean? That's why if I was ever captain of the team, I would always pick him because I know he was gonna go 101, 110. So
and they say that out here in LA to this day.
That's what you need.
Yeah, that was.
Back then I had the athleticism to back it up. Now, whew. I was a takeover machine. I didn't get a chance in high school to take over like I wanted to, but in the street, them little backyard footballs, which is that was the only really good memories I really enjoyed was the backyard football games, going neighborhood to neighborhood. Cause I used to cook niggas up, man. And I was the one time, believe it or not, the football was the one thing that brought me peace I had a happy piece of my life, which you remember, you grew up in my neighborhood. You see how it was, you know, my home life, you know, trying to fit in and shit like that. So football was only.
I mean, it was Ja Rough. It was Ja Rough. You know, James. I mean, I was a bad witness to it. You know what I mean? But you know, he was my guy, man. You know, when we was in school, James ain't never had to walk if I was around. Cause I mean, I was always driving. We was always together. Yeah, damn near was always together in high school. Yeah, when we got out of high school, you know, everybody went their way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, because I feel like that's a kind of like a theme with you, JT, in the fact that you've said that with several of the friends that come on now in regards to kind of like who you were as like yourself and your creative side. So everyone could understand the sport and athletic side that bonded you. But I would like to know, how did your friends feel about the creative side of you that you kind of seemed more difficult for people to understand?
Oh, I can speak on that.
Yeah, I'm really curious because the reason I asked that because it's the same kind of topic that's coming on amongst all of you guys. So I'm jumping in. JT's looking at me, but I want to ask that question.
That's what I brought you here for.
I was there. I mean, it was days James he'll go in the house, he'll come back outside, just finished writing 43 pages on something. I'm like, James, how the hell you just do that quick? He's like, man, I was feeling it. You know, he kind of motivated me too, because you know I was writing poetry, so I'll be in school and they'll be like, you'll see one math project, a problem, and then you'll see me do poetry, then schoolwork, and then poetry. That's how my notebooks were. And then I'd always admired that with James. James, you'll see him papers and everything in his pocket, balled up. He like, man, yeah, I got this idea. You have to see him jotting it down. And I started to adapt that too. I'm like, when I start having ideas, I need to write that first line down, and I can build a poem from there. So James and I used to go to his plays too. James, what was that first play, James? Heaven?
Yeah, that was the first play I acted in, yeah. Shout out to KenYatta Rogers, that director, his birthday is actually today, actually. Shout out to my mentor, who's actually the reason I'm even in Cali, because he gave me my college professor, he gave me that, back in Montgomery College, he gave me the confidence and the creative direction and just the guidance to where, even to this day, I hold the words he gave to me to this day. So we still talk. And it's funny because his birthday's today, and that play you're talking about was my first play. He casted me in it, and he was my teacher in like 2 acting classes too. So he's the key to the reason I'm even in LA, even meet Charlotte, and you know. By the way, this is Charlotte, Plummer, Keith, and Bruce, and Hosni.
Hi. I think they can see my everyone.
You're like my closest friend that's helped me with my business, my plays, my productions. You know, kept me in check. You know, because I get out of line or just be all over the place and have my business shit on. So, you know, a real friend. You know, so that's just funny that you mentioned the play. But yes, I remember Heaven. That was the bug right there. That play, that was the life changing moment for me. That was the first play.
I came out that way to come see you twice.
Yeah, no, you came twice.
Wow.
That's one thing I definitely always say about James, man. You get that man a story idea, something like that, he'll come back with like 60 pages written down. And remember, James, you used to was it top 50 songs? Oh, it was never a time you wouldn't catch James was like without a pencil and a paper on him. He was always jotting something down. You know what I mean? That was
we'd be on the court, whatever. I just always, I stopped that in 2012 when I found out about the industry. But starting back in '98, it was like I think it was like the second day of 8th grade, and I start just whatever songs that were out at the time, I would write down my favorite songs that were out, and then I carried over to high school. I did it from '98. I did it all the way into 2012. That was my second year into LA. Every 7 to 10 days. That was the one consistent thing out of everything in my life. Everything else was just all over the place on. But when it came to them countdowns, all the way from 8th grade, I was 13 at the time, up until I was 27. I would just every week I'd be in classes. We'd be in class, like I'm taking notes with the teacher, but the whole time doing a countdown in my head, like what are my favorite songs of the week? And at the end of each year, I did like my top songs of the year. Yeah. So I used to have like the countdown, like how many weeks it was on, like TRL. Like if it had 20 weeks, it got retired. I had its peak position and stuff. And I did that every single week to where like Bruce or my other folks would just be like, your countdown was number 1 this week. I'm like, that Usher song with such and such.
That's amazing.
Creative. That kept me creative.
Yeah.
Play.
So I just wanted to go back on, because that's beautiful to hear about the creative side. And I was just wondering, were there any during high school? Was there anything put in place, classes or anything that you guys could go to kind of, expand your creativity and work on it more, or was it something that wasn't done?
Got a question. Is that a question to everyone, or?
Oh, I'm wondering, as there's a question, just as you were speaking about your poetry, how you would do a math problem and then do like your pages would be all your poetry and then a math problem, then your poetry. And I was wondering now, did you guys ever think of like doing a group and being a creative group, or is that something that was not even something you would have thought of? And would you encourage it now for your children? Just how you said that you weren't very expressive in your feelings, and you found through writing and your poetry, you were able to express yourself. Would these creative things be something that you're now teaching your own children, and do you think it's important?
I do think it's important because they should. I mean, everyone should be able to. Everyone has a story, even if you want to share it or not.
Right.
And however you're creative in how you tell it. Because basically, my poetry is most of it's just a reflection of myself. I'm just creative with what I do it. When it came to that first question you mentioned about the group project, I do think that would be a good idea, because I have a lot of ideas that come across my mind, and I know James, he can knock some pages out like no one's business. You know what I mean? It's a lot that we could put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so, and I think it'd be really positive to come out just being Black men to put together a creative group and expressive group. I think it's something culturally we don't speak about a lot or incorporate in education for the BIPOC population, for Black kids. So I think it's something that, since you both, or I'm sure there's other that are in that would be something that I think would be part of a great legacy that you seem to be building right now.
Well, I say, Conway, you there?
Yeah, I was having some audio issues.
Hey, man, Conway.
Man, look all professional, man. What the hell?
He's got the mic and everything.
What, you in the booth, man?
I'm working.
Well, first, I want to congratulate this man, because he just wrapped up he just started his podcast today, so he just wrapped up. You just wrapped up the episode, right?
Yeah, I had recorded episode 1 today.
Cool. Now let me finish introducing you now. I'm gonna let you get into it. So this bro right here, he's the only person that's been on that's not the 03 class, but he still was always fam. His brother was part of our class and stuff like that. Always was intelligent, smart beyond his years and stuff. One of my teammates from high school and semi-pro. A family man. Always been about God and just trying to be right, but he's always been an honest man. And so I just want to bring him on, ladies and gents. Brandon Conway.
Welcome.
What's going on, family?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Hey, look, man, don't be putting all that on my name, man. Look, I had my past, just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't even remember what I said. No,
I'm just messing with you, dude. Like, I appreciate the love, man. I'm not
What, Marley?
But yeah, we've all lived our lives, man. We've done our things, that we ain't proud of.
But you always know a solid like you. To my knowledge, you was never out there. So
I'm gonna be my toughest critic, though, bro. I said I'm gonna always be my toughest critic.
Yeah, and you have, and you was always like knowledgeable about shit. Like you put me on with stuff that I didn't get until I got to LA. I was like, that's the shit Brandon was talking about back in like 2004 and 5. I'm like, or was that more like 2007 or 8? But still, you was young though. You was still like 18, 19 on some shit that other people was looking at you like you fucking crazy. And I was hearing you, I just didn't get it. And like, what got you there to just like to be knowledgeable at such a young age, seeing the world for what it was?
I made quite a bit of mistakes early on that really cost me a lot of what I thought I was supposed to be doing in life. So when my life got flipped upside down, like, you know, as far as not having those things anymore, whether it be, you know, it was football. For me, I lost football. So, you know, at a time where I put all my eggs in one basket, and you telling me somebody going to just turn around, dump all the eggs out, crack them all, you know, for me, I had to figure it out from there. And I think that was the toughest part about, you know, my journey, was able to bounce back from a place where I thought I lost everything.
Man, and one thing I said, go ahead, who was that?
No,
I said that's very
well said. Yeah.
And I'm my Brandon, because Brandon had a great work ethic about him, and I think it still carries over to his day. While he got his podcast going, he always was looking to involve himself. I remember we playing on semi-pro. We had a few great moments that if the coach, rest in peace, he just passed away not even a month ago to COVID. Rest in peace, Coach Q. You know, but if we let me and Brandon had our thing, you know, along with his brother Matt and things like that, we really could have really destroyed some stuff. But that was in their early years, so they were still learning how to run a team. We were still learning how to be better leaders and stuff. But one thing I always admired about Brandon was his, you know, his love for family and love for you know, marriage and things like that. And I wanted to talk about that, Brandon, because out here I live in LA, and that love shit it's so liberal and saturated. Like it's nothing like back home. It's nothing like back home. At least men, we got some morals and stuff like here. These men out here don't really have no morals. Like the women out here, a lot of them, they don't have like inspiration. They don't believe that they're good quality men that can love them right and things like that. So it's like, you know, and Brandon, you married young, and I think your marriage was an inspiration to a lot of people, even to me. In LA, I've always, when I see you, it's so good when I see you just like, you know, with your family, the love you have, and like, you know, so I guess I want to ask you is like, what was the process of marrying, and how has it been from then to now? And what is your purpose? Like, are you hoping to accomplish with your marriage and with your legacy? I know I said a lot right there.
Nah, that's cool. I got where you going, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's I think in life, man, you gather what you need to survive, right? And so I told you about how my life got flipped upside down with losing football, right?
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time trying to retrieve that. I spent a lot of time trying to recover, trying to go to this school and see if they'll have a scholarship for me in this school and this school. And I was 23 when I met my wife, right? I was 23, still trying to chase the football. And then I realized I just needed to let it go, right? But I said what I said about, you know, I think we gather what we need to survive is because sometimes you have to sit down and analyze your own life and tell yourself what is it that you need to get out of the way so that you can continue to move forward. And for me, I needed to get myself out of this situation of thinking that I'm going to be running around the rest of my 20s trying to mess with a lot of youngins, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, try to figure out how I'm going to finish school. And you know, so for me, I was 23, I had not finished college, so I was already behind the 8 ball. So for me, I was looking at it like, all right, I build a relationship with my wife, a friendship, we build this family, and then later on down the road, you know, I can go back to school, and we talking about in my 40s, my kids are going to be grown in my 40s. You know what I'm saying? So I had to look at it I had to look down the road because I had already missed a couple windows for me to, you know, cover certain things in my life. So I've always looked at it like I've been working backwards, but it's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of, okay, I got out here, I started working, I started, you know, instead of selling dime bags, I started selling my resume. I started you know, looking at my resume as if that was my product. And I started to go to these corporations and started to be able to focus on what exactly I was doing so that I could turn around and sell it to the next organization and then the next organization. And so without a college degree, I've been able to cover a lot of ground simply because I took a little bit of what I understood streetwise and I took that same ambition, the same level of requirements and work ethic to the corporate environment so that I can get to a certain point where I was comfortable enough to to get back into school, to start really gathering, start really chasing my dreams in that sense. So I started building a family with the intention that I was not going to have to focus on that part later on in life, if that makes sense. And
another thing I want to give you props for, Brandon, because the fact that you are thugging it out. I know we know a lot of people that we see through the book on Facebook or Instagram and stuff that's been, in relationships, out of relationships, been married, been divorced multiple times and things like that. They got married young, things like that. But you one of the few that I've seen, along with Mike Parker, shout out to him, Shanae, and things like that. But yeah, I one of the few young marriages that I still see going and look like they're going stronger. So for people who don't probably believe that marriage has a qualities or benefits behind it, you explain the benefits of having a foundation and starting young to where you're at right now to building. Because a lot of people don't believe in that shit, but guys like you give hope to people.
Nah, man, I just tell you like this, man. I would never tell somebody go get married. I would never tell somebody go how to do their own business, right? Like that's your life is different. And I'm not here to give people hope. I'm here to do my thing. And my thing is gonna help somebody else. And I'm only hoping that people see and react what they, take what they need. But I'm not here to feed nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not here for that. Because at the end of the day, the minute I start thinking about trying to feed people, I'm going to start altering who I am and the fibers of me just to make sure that they get what they need. And that's not the case. Like everybody's testimony is important. So I need you to live your life just the same as I'm living my life so I could feed off of you too. You know what I'm saying? Your mistakes become something, that I can take as a learning lesson as well. So, I would never, marriage. I don't talk about marriage on the internet for a reason. Because I'm not out here trying to give no advice on what I do. I'm trying to make sure that my situation is good. As much as one can learn how to articulate things, I'm a poet. I'll write some things that may help somebody's marriage one day. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to give advice because I can't act like my shit don't stink. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's fine though. You don't have to, and that's what I want to get people out of, because people have a habit of trying to discredit people because of their flaws. There's not one person that has a flaw. There's not one relationship therapist or family marriage counselor, whatever, that don't have their own flaws. People think these people who giving their advice are living perfect lives and probably faithful to their husbands or their wives and stuff like that. No, they just have a fucking understanding of ethics of handling the human behavior in terms of dating and relationships and stuff. So you may not think that you don't have the qualifications to give advice, but for someone who's,
No, but James, if you came to me and you said, B, let me ask you something. You think I'm gonna just say, nah, bro, I can't help you there? No, I provide advice to those who I love, and I'm not going to steer you in the wrong direction. But I'm not going to sell advice. I'm not going to promote advice.
Yeah,
everything's, bro. In spirit, bro, nothing is the same. There's no coincidences. So I'm not about to say the same thing over and over again to 5 different people, and they got different experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Then they don't listen when you tell them. You're like, I'm wasting my breath.
I help my brothers, and if they reach out to me, man, I'm all love, man. I'm never going to reject you, but I'm definitely not about the life of selling anything to anybody. I'm gonna just do me, if that makes sense. I don't mean to sound like I'm selfish, but I'm just trying.
No, not at all. Not at all, brother.
If you talk to me, you get it from a pure state. You're not gonna get it from flawed state. I'm gonna give you the pure state of being. I'm gonna lived it. If I have advice, I've lived it, and that's just me.
No, that was a great ass response.
That was, yeah. That's good.
Go ahead, Charlotte.
Yeah, I appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate exactly what you said, and actually, what I took from it, what I find that you're saying is like you have to be accountable for self, and I think in that's something that a lot of people don't do. They don't do their own introspection, their own self-reflection, and what you said in understanding your all journey with your football and kind of finding where you needed to be and moving on from that took a lot of self-introspection, self-reflection that I think all of us need to do, and accountability for ourselves and what direction we want to go into. And I think, just that in itself is great advice, even though you're not giving it out, but you are just by what you're doing, by your actions, the way you're moving. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And I think that should be that should be something that is broad. And I think you all, growing up and your high school friends there, JT, I'm very impressed with these gentlemen so far and where they're going.
Now I have a question for everybody.
Common theme of creativity is going on in poetry and writing. And I think that's something that's important. You all write in some form where you're able to talk about your feelings and emotions. And I would love for everyone to speak a little bit more about that. Like, how did you just spoke a little bit about poetry yourself. So how do you use your poetry in your life? Like, what do you have in that creative space? Why do you use poetry as a form of creative space?
Well, shout out to my man.
That was for Brandon.
Yeah,
and anybody else on the
Well, I wanted to shout out Bruce. Bruce has been an inspiration for my poetry, right? Like the brother's been doing it for a little while, like a while now. And he's put out books, he's publicated. So I haven't, I don't have published work, but I have quite a bit of work, and I'm looking to publish mine, and I'm actually working on something right now, which I probably need to connect with Bruce on, but we'll talk behind this, backstage. But
yes, connections, baby. I love it.
But for me, I write a lot of like you said earlier, we have to go inside and find ourselves to a degree. And I write a lot of poetry based out of reflection. And then when I'm not writing out of reflection, I'm writing out of encounters, right? So my partner, my friend may encounter a situation, and it might spark something. Or I speak to healing, right? So I'm gonna speak life into you through poetry. So I have, my poems are not something you're not gonna get the spoken word, like you could get spoken word videos out of them, but I'm not gonna make it too hard for you. My stuff is easily digestible. So you can read it and it's written, it's a complex piece with a very simple flow, if that makes sense. So it's complex, whereas you can read it multiple times and get different things, but it's simple because when you read it, you're gonna be like, well, this is real. I don't have a hard time pronunciating words. I don't have a hard time getting through this. So that's always been my strength, which is to take something complex and make it really simple. And so that's how I kind of operate. I like to talk, I like to speak. So for me, my poetry is one way for me to be able to connect two ends of the paradigm, which is your corporate America and your streets. If the best way for me to put it, so I've always kept that in mind.
It's funny you say that because I've put with you and Bruce, the poets.
My bad. I just had to go get some water. I have water in my trunk. I don't like to knock my water in. You know what I mean?
No worries.
I'm gonna Bruce jump in on this, but it's funny because both you and Brandon, you and Bruce are the two guys that in my season 1 of my podcast put a piece of y'all poems, some part of my podcast. So it's just funny that y'all both happen to get on and stuff like that. I had like my third episode, I put one of Bruce's poems and stuff. I was just on your SoundCloud the other day. I don't know if you got my message. I was just on your SoundCloud and listened to your poems and stuff. So I don't know if you got that message.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So it's funny that y'all both talk poetry and things like that. But go ahead, Bruce, if you want to finish the question she asked.
Oh, I didn't. Can you rephrase it? Because I went to the truck to grab water. I'm sorry.
Actually, because we're really like 2 hours in. This is what I want to ask y'all. High school, after high school, we all had our own perceptions of what we probably thought life would be after high school. What is something that you thought would be? How's I'm gonna let you go first because you haven't got a chance to talk yet on this. Then everybody can come in as he goes. But what was something that you thought in high school life would be that, as you're now an adult, you're like, that shit ain't what you thought it was gonna be?
Everything. Everything. What you mean? Everything. Whatever concept.
That's for everybody. You haven't heard from Hosni.
No, go ahead, Keith.
No, my fault if I cut somebody off, but
no. Like, how do you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. I just let me know when y'all want me to chime in.
No, go ahead, chime in right now.
Your name or a question.
After high school, I mean, life was a lot different because then you got the real world. Hold on one second, Rico. We got the real world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, college was fun, of course, but then after college, you know what I'm saying, when you gotta really get out here and get it. You know what I'm saying? You got bills, you know what I'm saying? Trying to make it. So I mean, I just growing up having kids, you know, all of that. That's stuff change your life. I know all of us can, you know what that's like. You know what I'm saying?
What was something that you thought that? What was something you thought that would be like where you at right now? That if you even thought that far, that you would have thought that you would have been at, or
of course I was trying to go. I mean, I played professional basketball, but my goal was always to get to the NBA. I didn't make it to the NBA, but you know, I played overseas and stuff like that. But I wanted to be, you know, in the league. But I mean, that's one dream I wish I had. I could have fulfilled. But you know, I still played professional and got to travel around the world, so that was a lot of fun. You know what I mean? But
I finish other than that, Keith.
Yeah,
you know. I mean, my bad, Ali. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. I didn't even hear the question. I mean, no, I didn't hear him say your name. My fault, though. For me was, well, you know, I got in trouble. So the thought, like, when I came home, I was 20. I had one credit left, like, when I got in trouble to get. So I got that because for me, I felt like at that point, whenever I had kids, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't tell my sons to go do something daddy didn't go do himself. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he fussed. Y'all might have to come back to me when I got him. I mean, like, all the doors that got closed to me, like, when I came home, like, was crazy. Like, and my folks tried to tell me, but, like, it's a different thing. See, with me, like, when you told me to stop doing something so many times, you piqued my interest at that age. Now I want to go do it because I wasn't even doing it before you even started saying I was doing it. So I had to learn, like, just at 20 how to, like, persevere. And some people at 20 don't know how to, but for me, it was just like, hey, look, this is the bed you made. This, you know what I'm saying? You gotta lie in it. You gotta do what you gotta do and get yourself out of the situation. And like, so you got a lot of people who've been in my situation who want to blame the white man. I'm not saying this or that, like, but I know I was my biggest enemy. Like, I was in my own way. You know what I'm saying? I was in my own way. And so once I accepted that and put that to the side, to put my pride to the side, I did what needed to be did, you know what I'm saying? And now, like, I still got a ways to go, but I'm closer to being where I want to be than where I'm not want to be. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
I'm gonna give it welcome in my bestie, my cousin. Actually, I've known this man just as long as I've known him, Bruce. You know, and you know, when I moved to that neighborhood, you know, I think I've told y'all this before. I dreaded moving to that area because it fucked everything up that I had in my vision. Because I was ready to go to Sligo Middle School. I was in Wheaton, and I was ready to go to Sligo. I had my friends and shit like that. Then I come in the middle of 5th grade to a new neighborhood, you know, and that was the worst thing. But a couple of highlights of that movement was meeting guys like Bruce and Edwin, because these two were like my two of my first friends in that neighborhood, you know. But with Edwin, for example, like, he was one of probably like 3 people that always gave me that kick in my ass to and pushed me to be like, look, you're gonna take your ass to LA, you're gonna do this and do that. And he was the first friend I actually fought in that neighborhood, and then we hung out right after. That's how we knew we were gonna be friends. Because we literally we fought. And then it was like, all right, let's go home. We just laughed like nothing happened. And I was like, that's what we're gonna be dancing. Yeah. And you know, and I remember back in 2010.
People younger than you, man.
You said what?
You being a bully, man, picking on people and stuff, man. That's crazy.
No, Edwin was just annoying, so I had to beat his ass. Now let me stop. No, but it's crazy because some people know this, but back in 2010, his cousin and my mom married, so he's now my cousin as well. So I want to give a shout out to this man, Edwin Campbell.
Welcome.
Yo, what up, yo?
Yo, Eddie.
What's up, Ken?
What's up, family, man? See a
What's
couple
up,
y'all
man?
all time, man.
Hey,
What up,
long
bro?
time.
This is a good feeling, like just seeing all y'all, man. Because we getting older, y'all. We are in our mid-30s now. Like,
Hey, chill.
life ain't no joke now. Like, we getting older.
Calm down.
Fathers,
That's not old. Calm down.
Relax. You throwing numbers out. You throwing numbers out.
Hey,
Relax.
Yeah, man.
I just told you.
You talking about 03 and stuff. Don't nobody need to know how old he is.
No, because really, real talk, I feel the best years are ahead. I love getting older, but I'm saying it's like that thought of like I think about my. I'm
You
older
spit your numbers. Don't spit ours.
So what?
You spit your numbers. Don't spit ours.
Oh.
Whatever. Yeah, terrible.
Hey,
but I'm
look.
like, just we getting older, and it's just like just in general, and it's like I think about like my mom and my grandmas, and then I think about my little cousins and stuff, and you just gotta just like, and I be just reflecting like, what is the legacy we're gonna live, And we lost some people over the years, a la Dwight Fisher, shout out to him, like we lost some people, like just off the random that you ain't know we're gonna lose, and and I just want to tell you, I love y'all niggas because I don't know what may happen to anybody. I've been on this bitch 10 and a half years, almost 10 and a half years. And I had about 2 or 3 times I almost was killed. So, and it's just like, I think about life, because I didn't have no family out here. And I think about what if something's happened to me? I can't just expect all the people from back in the East Coast to fly to fucking LA and fucking make their funeral. If anything, I probably wouldn't even be out here. I would have to probably get flew back home. And then there's people in LA that I've built relationships with. That probably would.
Hey.
No, but when I see it, it's like, me, I was like, I just appreciate every time I come home to visit. I try to see y'all, Bruce. When I try to see you, Hosni, I try to see y'all when I can, because living out this bitch, it's scary shit. Like, Brandon, the shit you was talking about way before I moved to LA, that shit is real shit. I see it all the time out here. Like the industry, the demand is so much, and it's like I see so many people lose themselves. I see people fucking that was on the same path as me. See them sitting on a corner on Hollywood Boulevard with a cup and shit, or strung out. That shit be real, yo. You're like, damn, this motherfucker has so much potential. And it's like I've been homeless out this bitch about 15 times, and I can't tell you. Shoot, my friend Charlotte or her guy at the time, like I stayed with them a night or two because it's been a struggle out here. So for me, when I come home and I can see y'all niggas or talk to y'all like I'm talking to y'all now, it keeps me grounded. It's like a rejuvenation. It's like I need that shit. It's like I need to be able to, like when we smoke and shit, or when we go grab something to eat or something like that, or even Hosni, because me and Hosni hang out and shit like that. Like, and it's just like I need those. I be needing those moments, because then I'm like back in LA, this crazy ass reality. Motherfuckers sacrificing people out here and shit like that. Like, this shit is crazy, man. And it's the scary shit. So it's like my birthday Tuesday, and I was like, I want some of my folks from back home. I want to have them on a pod and things like that, because I just wanted to just embrace the brotherhood. Because men, we got to show love to each other and stuff. We always been raised to, don't show no emotions and shit like that. But I'm showing love, so I'm the first to say I love y'all motherfuckers. Yeah, I can feel how y'all feel about it.
Love you too.
Yeah,
love the love, man.
Hey, the nigga tell you he love you every time he texts you, man. Shut the hell up.
I know.
So what? I don't care.
I don't care. I just want to let you guys know I love you. I love you, Brandon. I love you, Bruce. I love you
too, brother. Hey, James, look,
what
man.
the hell, man?
But that's the best part.
Yeah.
I just like messing with James. I ain't saying
Me too.
mess with him.
Go for
I ain't
it.
saying I ain't mess with him now. Through a high school.
Yeah, I tripping.
Hey, James, look, man.
He might have got put on a soda can. He might have got put on a machine twice or two. I'm not saying.
He ain't never do that shit. So
Hey,
Go
look,
ahead, Brandon.
Now I was gonna say, bro, like, we can't even be out here focused about whether or not we're gonna be here or not. We just kind of gotta do what we gotta do. I feel like as long as you got a mission, you got life. You feel me? So, it seemed like people get taken before their mission's complete, but they don't know what the completion of their mission really is. You feel me? So you just kind of got to go for it, because at the end of the day, you might just be the one who's handing off the baton. You might not be the leg. So you got to remember that. So and I think that's the most important part about life, is that we can't worry about what place we have on the relay. We just got to run our leg. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I think that keeps the focus off of death, and it keeps you living. You know what I'm saying? Because that person on the first leg got to run just as fast as that person on the last leg, and everybody in between, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's God's choice on who he puts in the spot. And so as long as you keep that focus, you ain't gonna be worried about life or death, bro. You've been through what you've been through because you about to use it. And I want to see you use it, bro.
Yeah, it's just like I was telling you the other day, bro, when you were saying what you were saying, like how, bro, I don't know if something happened to me, I'm not supposed to be here. I always told you, bro, you always gotta be positive. Like, you gotta switch the way you think. And like, the best way to change the world is through our children anyways. We gotta educate them the way we know they're supposed to be educated. Cause like with us, our parents did the best that they could. They grew up in a whole different situation with us than us. We know better. So like, we gotta educate them with the knowledge that we got. Like, they don't gotta go through the same thing our parents went through. If they do, that's on us.
Yeah.
And you can't.
I think that's a perfect segue into the question. When I think you guys are, for me anyway, is what you would tell, like, based on all your experiences now and the men that you are now, what would you tell your younger self, your high school self, as well as what you're saying right now, that you all have children? What would you also tell your children now, based on what you've learned through your high school till now, that you think is very important? Because you're already kind of saying what you're saying right now.
I gotta answer this too when they finish.
Yeah, let's go on a rotation.
I would say stack your paper up. I would say stack your money up and stay focused. Don't get sidetracked. Stay focused on your goals. That's it. That's the main two things. Don't get sidetracked. Stay focused. Stack your paper.
Yes.
Go ahead, Keith.
With me, I would tell my high school self, be humble. See, a lot of it was about me not being humble and not being receptive and being rebellious. My oldest self, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm way more humble now. It would be, and like what I would tell my sons is, well, I already tell my 11 and 12-year-old, like, whatever you do, right or wrong, right? You know what I'm saying? Hold your head up. Don't never put your head down. Because whatever decision you made as that man, you know what I'm saying? Be that man, whether it goes right or whether it goes wrong. But I also try to tell my sons when they were younger, even younger than they are now, like, the perception of reality that you have right now is, at that age, is the beliefs and things that you form going forward. And you always have to be receptive. So that's what I would tell my sons, and he's definitely going to know, because he's going to catch baby drill sergeant out here. No, I'm not going to be hard on him, but I got to let him know. And like, if I arm you with all the tools, then at the end of the day, like, it's no books of being like, they got books on it, but it's like no perfect way to raise your child. And so every child is different. And I have a son who has autism, so I had to deal with him different than I deal with my 11-year-old, and I had to deal with him differently. It's just it's all about patience, and when it comes to my kids, it's all about patience and trying to install the values that weren't installed in me as at their age. And that's what I do.
Conway?
Oh yeah, I was gonna let the old heads go, you know what I'm saying? Not old heads, but my seniors, you know what I'm saying? My peers who
next time I see you on the
Can't
field,
tell,
right?
everyone looks the same age.
I would say
legal hit and all that.
I would say for myself, when I was in high school, I wish I would have went to school more. I would skip school way too often. I used to work at Ross, Dress for Less. So I used to just skip work. I used to just skip school just to go to work. my mother was from Haiti. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't buying us school clothes. I wouldn't want to put that burden on her. You know what I mean? For the stuff that I want. So I was like, well, shit, this work right here. So, and then I wish I was a little bit harder. I had a band in school, in my high school year. I had put I was able to finesse the principal, Miss Dixon, you know what I mean, to have like a go-go band.
Miss Dixon, people ain't give her no love for.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, keep in mind, like everybody on the band, damn near was bad as shit. Like you wouldn't even get her to sign off on the shit, but I was able to just a sweet talker and smooth talker, you know what I mean? And she allowed me to have a band and use the equipment. We had to bounce around from house to house. Hosni, you already know. You know what I'm saying? We used to bounce around in XYZ, but then I was able to just finesse it to the point where we was able to have the band perform at the teacher versus students game that year. You know what I mean? And for myself, when I got out of school and I was working, you know what I'm saying? I had my credit. I was focusing on credit already in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like how I could finesse it in XYZ, and was working in XYZ. But I had my child. I had my child 3 years after school, and partner didn't have work ethic, didn't know how to work. You know what I mean? So it was like double the load was put on me. You know what I mean? So I had to take a few steps back in XYZ. But what I would tell my children is to make sure that you have determination and ambition in everything that you do. Just as I was able to come out and I had a child 3 years. I published my book 3 years out of school too, because all the work that I was doing, and I was never really good at marketing, because I wasn't really a good people's person. I wasn't the one that you would see in school trying to be in the mix of everybody, trying to talk and be seen and XYZ. I just kept it moving. Mm-hmm. So a part of me was I was cool, but I wasn't as friendly because I wasn't, you know what I mean? Just wasn't my thing. We moved around. I moved around so many years before we even got to Paint Branch, because I wasn't even from the area. So to me, it was like, I don't know none of these people out here besides where I live. But I would tell my kids that no matter what you go through, make sure that you have ambition, determination, set goals in your life, and try to check them off. You know what I mean? And don't allow distractions, because they're all there. Entertainment is going to always be there. Sometimes entertainment synonym should be distractions. But what else did I say? And focus. And I'm big on it. You know what I'm saying? It's I know it's good to always have cash on hand, but I'm big on credit. You know what I'm saying? I always make sure my stuff is good. You know what I mean? And I want that to be a number that they chase too. You see what I'm saying? Let nothing under 700. You know what I'm saying? Nothing under 700 is acceptable. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? And it's not wrong with it. Not saying it's nobody else. You know what I'm saying? But you have to make sure that you got goals and make sure that you just aim high. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very important. That's all.
Facts. Good shit. Conway, Campbell.
Edwin, you want to go?
Ready?
I mean, yeah, I'll be quick because, like, I don't got kids yet. The plan for us, God willing, we have kids next year if it's God's will. But what I would tell my kids is basically learn how to be your own boss. Like, learn how to own something, because, the way I was raised is go to school, get good grades, and work, but work for somebody else. And I've been working for myself since 2013, and it's a struggle, but I also have no playbook. I'm just playing this shit by ear. I want to be able to learn enough to hand my kids a playbook. Like, hey, take your ass to school after high school. If you got a trade that you're good at, go to trade school. You don't got to go to university, because, like, if you're going to go to university, dog, that's a lot of bread for a piece of paper. But if you're good at something, there's nothing wrong with the trade. Like, whatever you choose to do it and own it and be your own boss, set your own hours, be able to pass on a legacy to the next generation, because that's all I'm about now. I want to earn enough by the time I'm like 50 years old, that I will have my kids straight, then I can start thinking about my grandkids, like the next generation. Cause that's the way I think. Like, I don't have no ego no more. Like, I don't got no kind of ego at all. Everything that I do is about the next generation. It got nothing to do with me no more. Like, I done did what I had to do. Right now, like, I just want to get my stuff right for the next generation. That's it.
Motherfucker, Sammy Sosa, Conway.
That's my guy. No, so we first started with like what we would tell our younger self, right? And so what I would tell my younger self is, don't try to carry your parents' load. Don't try to carry your mom's load.
Facts.
And the reason why I say that is because, like, I lost some of my childhood because I was trying to carry the burdens of my folks, of my parents. And I felt like I didn't necessarily have to. So I would never put my kids in that position because it steals from your focus, because you go from knowing who you are to chasing a dream so you can get some money so that you can help everybody out. And I think that's where that's where I lost who I was, right? So along with telling myself not to take on the burden of my parents, I will also tell myself to who are you when the lights go off and nobody's cheering for you? Who are you when those stadium lights go off and nobody's cheering for you? That's where, you know, where I'm at with it. And as far as my kids go, I'm with Edwin and others. Knowledge and understanding is an inheritance in its own. It doesn't always have to be financial. When you understand something and you are able to script it out in the situations that you've been through, that's something that you can hand over to your kids as a usable and viable resource. So that's important. And then also just giving them good affirmations to work with, you know, and parameters, because I think rules and parameters are important, because those kids need those type of boundaries in order for you to be able to build with them. If they don't have boundaries, you can't build with them. They're going to always constantly push on what it is that they're trying to do. So, you know, I mean, with my kids, I tell them, where's the power? And they recite to me, and my powers in my mind, powers in my words, and powers in my heart. Right?
Affirmations, bro.
And the reason why that's so powerful is because in order for us to even get past and through trials and tribulations, if we tell ourselves something, we start to think about it. And when we start to think about it, it goes to our heart and we start to feel it.
Yeah.
And that's the reverse. So what you're spewing out right now in this moment is what's in your heart, going to your mind, coming out your mouth. So it's like mathematics. You have a formula to be able to help yourself push through. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I teach my kids that. They have no idea why I tell them that, but they also know the rule number one in my house is listen with your ears, a foundation. So they understand, even though they don't understand exactly why they're learning these things or reciting them, they're foundations for you to build on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really important when you're dealing with your children in a young age, is just to give them a foundation so that when you have these conversations later on in life, that you can actually build from, you're not building from scratch. You're working from a place that you've already created for them. And
they got a playbook.
Right. And they're safe and they're in a safe space. And always let them tell you how they feel about something, whether you like it or not.
Man,
so powerful,
that's,
what you've all
I
said.
love
So
hearing. Yeah, I was going to say, like, if I would have told my younger self was own my confidence, because I always had a belief that I was greater than others allowed me to believe, and it affected, you know, even though I was always creative, it affected my confidence on where I could go with it. Because deep inside, I always knew I was going to go to LA, but I allowed a lot of people's opinions and allowed a lot of just the lack of the support and belief, even from my family and stuff, to destroy my self-esteem and my confidence. So over the years, when I was doing my careers and going to school, doing theater and doing the plays and stuff, I was doing it in a place of God speaking to my soul, saying, this is what you're meant to do. But on the outside, I was just this depressed kid. And, you know, I didn't get my first bit of happiness until I was like 23. I did like my first couple of plays. I did the play Bruce You Saw, and then I did like Cinderella and a couple of other plays. I was doing musicals, and I started to since this bit of, I was like, I didn't even know what it was. Cause I never knew I didn't know I was not happy until I was like 23. And I was like, why do I feel so good now? I feel so good about myself. I was like, is this what happiness feel like? And it was like, I knew right there, I was like, this is what I meant to do, my theater, my career and stuff, because it was nothing like being on that stage. And then writing, I always wrote, and I always said I was gonna make movies, but I wasn't sure if I was really going to actually do it. It was something I was just always doing. So when I try to, I feel like I should have told my younger self to just own it and then achieve it and not allow people to destroy. Because even moving to LA, it took years. I'm 10 years here and I'm just shedding off the anxiety and the baggage that I had from back home, because I carried a lot of baggage because I was a scatter. Y'all remember me? I was all over the fucking place. Yeah. You know, people weren't there like, JT, I worried about you out the high school. People have said that. You know, so I worried about me out the high school. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. All I knew is I loved to write. I wanted to do theater. Everybody said it was crazy, but it's the power of God, man. Because even I was doubting myself. Something in my soul always said, do this, study this theater, do this play, do it. And I've always fell off of my soul, my intuition. Even when my mind is telling me, my intuition was saying, do this. That's why I came to LA. I was scared as fuck. That was the scariest decision in my life. But it was something saying, I cried 2 days before I left. I cried. There's a girl I was seeing at the time. We were like friends, but shit, I cried for like an hour straight in her arms. Because I was like, I'm about to be gone. I didn't know nobody out there. I didn't know nobody. I just knew I had this. I had a script. I had a play I just finished that I wrote and directed. Love Game. Charlotte, you was part of it just back in 2019. And when you saw it in 2013, because I had it multiple runs, and I had faith in God. I was just like, walk by faith, not by sight. And that's what survived me to this day now, because at least 150 times in a year, I thought about moving back. I always think about moving back. But I listened to this intuition that says, keep going. He wouldn't have blessed me with this much talent as an artist just to waste it sitting on my ass, working a fucking job. Not knocking anybody for that, but he gave me these creative abilities for a reason. So I was like, I had a purpose I had to fulfill. And I wanted to be an inspiration. I knew, I was like, if I could do this and survive, don't tell me what impact this could have made. I didn't know if it was going to make that impact. But, you know, that was the whole purpose I was hoping for when I moved to LA. You know, I was like, man, I just stuck this out. People gonna see what the fuck I was talking about the whole time. So, and I did. It's like right now I feel like I'm in my best groove in my life. Like things are just like, I'm 10 years here. I have a son. I got on the pod. Hey. Say what's up. Hey, you know, hey, and guys like you guys who's been fathers and stuff, you guys are big inspirations and stuff like that. Yeah. Let them know. Gucci bandana. He loves that go-go music too, you know, and it's in his blood. When I go come home, he just be beating them feet, you know. So, and what I want to tell him, I'm just going to tell him, just remain kind. You know, it's nothing wrong with being kind. People treat kind souls wrong, but I want him to just be kind, but with discipline. So we're going to get his ass in some martial arts. He's going to know how to kick people's ass, but without having to kick nobody's ass. You know, so, you know, because, you know, he's a happy baby. He's so, he smiles all the time. You know, only time he really cries is when he's hungry, you know, and like, I want him to be a happy baby, but you know, this world is cruel. They see happy people kind of like this. They want to destroy the happy, kind little, you know, souls and stuff like that. So I just want to prepare him for everything, you know, because, you know, and I just want him to remain kind and always stay true and be decisive in his decision, especially as a Libra. He's a Libra. Libras are indecisive as fuck. So I just want to make sure he's decisive in his decisions and his actions and stuff like that, and know that he's loved and protected.
Hey, just remember the character traits are the things that you have to love. You can't, you know what I mean? When you give them stuff, you make sure you're giving them information, understanding, and giving them tasks. But don't, you know, whatever character they take to the task, that's what you have to fall in love with and try to help guide. Because that all you are is a parameter, a guide. You can't. And so when you talk about indecisive, it's okay to be indecisive, but providing exercises to help him make decisions, that's what you know what I'm saying? So
that's all I want to do. I just want to like just know what you're making, why you're making the decisions, and, you know, and just help find his purpose. Whoever he decides, because I didn't have the support. No one supported me. No one really believed. I had like 2 or 3 people that was like, that working family. It was like, yo, you're going to take your ass to LA. You're going to do this shit. You know, so, and that affects you. So I want him to always, whatever he decided to do, whether it's sports, whether it's a doctor, whatever he just want to, whatever he want to do, if it's his passion, I'm support him. Guide him. We're going to wrap this up soon, but I want to talk about, fellas, you know, ladies. We want to talk about the ladies.
I got something to say real quick these days. Real quick. By you being a new father, I would just say try not to overthink a lot. Try not to overthink it. Sometimes we do a lot by overthinking it. It's out of love and out of care, but sometimes what I found dealing with my son, and that don't work for everybody's son, is, you know, I find a common link that we have, which is anime. You know what I'm saying? And throughout us watching anime, you know, I may pause the cartoon or whatever, and I may ask him questions to talk to him. Because right now, already, I have his attention through the anime, and like, don't try to press too hard because
get on that One Piece.
Some of the So just try to be receptive. Just try to be receptive to what they got to say. You know what I'm saying? And try not to overthink it and be too harsh, and you'll come back even if something you don't like what they did.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate all these words. Like, I love it. I love this energy. This is definitely my favorite episode. This is 37 episodes in. This is the one right here.
Oh, there goes my dog.
I do want to ask about those women, fellas. What have you learned from high school to now when it comes to the ladies? Whoever want to jump in first.
I'll go ahead and grab it first. You want to go ahead, Edwin?
I go after you, B. I go after you, B.
I'm gonna just get out the way. Look, man, all I learned about women was that the longer you're in a relationship with a woman, you know, the longer you're in a relationship with a woman, you learn women, right? And so you start to learn things that you just be wishing you knew what you knew now back then. Because the thing is, though, it's like you didn't really know how much you had to actually pay attention to women in order to actually continue to have a relationship, bro. So you have to understand them and understand that person. They're not all the same in what they are, like what they like. So that's when that love languages become key. Like, so anyway, I'm a digress, but yeah, man. Sometimes you be wishing you knew what you know now back then. But but it is what it is.
Can't live with them. Can't live without them.
Yep, that's another fact. That's true. Nah, like what he's saying, dog. Like, you wish you knew now what you knew back. You wish you knew what you knew now back then. But I mean, like, the number one thing I would say is when it comes to like from high school to now, is you learn as a man how you grow, because like our responsibilities and thoughts that we have as a man when we 17, 18, like as a woman, they thinking like they already like 24, 25, because the world treats women and men differently. Like, the world caters to men. So all of our responsibilities and issues we got, like, to them is child's play. So where I'm at now, you know, and, you know, my wife and everything, like, by the time I met her, I was 28, and I already knew back then. I was like, look, I'm coming out of all kind of crazy shit. I'm like, I need to take this shit slow because I already know where you at. I need to catch up with you. You something special, so I got to catch up with you. But like, women progress at a way faster rate because the world makes them grow up faster than us. Like, all of us are catered to as males. Like, that's real talk. So
I think, go ahead, finish.
I mean, but honestly, that's it. Like, that's it, really.
All right, baby.
I'm not married, so I wouldn't know. But I think the situations that you put in and what life and what things you go through life determines at what rate you have to grow.
100% fact.
My situation is different.
100% fact. That's real talk.
My situation was different from me. It was it was since my cousin died, like on my mother's side, it's a small family. So since my cousin died back in September or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm the second oldest male on my mother's side. I'm number 36. So I mean, so that tells you, you know what I'm saying, what lies on me. And my cousin who older than me, he older than me by 8 months. So it's not like I'm looking onto a whole lot of experience. And he was like, now my cousin's the definition of catered to, but me and my cousin, even though we're 8 months apart, we grew up on a different type, both totally different sides of the track. And I just say with whoever, like, it just depends on your upbringing. If you're in the upbringing where you're able to be catered to, I wasn't able to be catered to because it wasn't, like, it just wasn't in my cards. It wasn't how God played me. And maybe it's why I'm built to handle a lot of stuff and go through what I go through. But I agree with you for the most part, women are way more mature than men. And then I believe at a certain age, y'all kind of tend to get on an even level if you're
you catch up.
That type of mind. If you're that type of mind, some people just stay ignorant and stay, young and dumb forever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's big facts.
Yeah, he ain't wrong about that. There's a lot of men that, the world is telling you to grow up and it's telling you to change, but dog, it's easy to stay ignorant. Ignorance is bliss, bro.
And ignorance is so easy to be.
Absolutely.
You don't have to put in work to be ignorant.
Super easy to be. You don't have to. You can say no.
It's so easy to be ignorant. Like, to do the right thing, that takes a lot. When somebody disrespect you, it takes a lot to not want to punch your motherfucker in their face. Even though you say it's but you like, I gotta do the right thing. The easy part is to punch him. But it's like, what are the ramifications? What could come out of that? These days, people don't fight. They'll shoot you. So it's like, all right, if I really get this fade, win or lose, what's the aftermath?
Man, you got all the lose now. You got all the, man.
You said I got all the what?
You got all the lose right now, man. Right there in your hand. Right there in your hand. Your life matters now. Your life, I mean, don't think it doesn't matter, because if you can't take care of your child, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your child. But you know what I'm saying? After that, like, everything you do is for him. So everything I do is for my sons, and that's how I look at it.
It's funny you say that, because, and this because what I learned from women and stuff is like, and what us as men, but we're talking about what I've learned from women is like, very few really know what the fuck they actually want and need out of somebody, because like you saw about the fatherhood and stuff. Like, I think the biggest issue with women, and I think it goes all around, is they think with emotion and not logic. Because look at it like this: we all here, we fathers in our kids' lives and stuff like that. If a woman meets a man, he got 3 kids, 3 different baby mamas, not in their kids' lives, logically can tell you that he's not a responsible guy. He lacks fucking responsibility. He lacks respect and like, what makes you think you are going to be any different,
bro?
Hey, but you can't look. You don't general. I know. I'm gonna.
You can't.
I know,
can't generalize.
Let me say,
a lot of women.
But it's also the actions behind it. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, no, I get you. I would say
because some people do grow, but some people just.
Yeah, no, I would say just be careful, like, of generalizing. And the reason why I say that is because we're talking about tiers of men and tiers of women, right? In the tiers of men, I could tell you a lot of cats who I'm like, yeah, he ain't qualified for the job, right? And in the tiers of women, I could tell you by just looking at who their daddy is that they not ready to find a qualified man, right?
Yeah.
The reason why I say
that's not necessarily true, though.
No, that's not necessarily true, and I can tell you that based off my own relationship. But what I'm getting at is that there's always the tiers of qualification when it comes to relationships, how we deal with men and women, right? So at the end of the day, like, you just have to mingle in order to find out the truth. Like, when it comes to it, bro, with women, their position is always going to differ. Like, they could have gone through some things in the past that's gonna push them and accelerate them. They could have not gone through certain things and not properly been set up, so they might not be as mature as you think, right? And then when it comes to men are positioned in the fashion of, okay, what has been the expectation? What type of women has he dated in the past? That's a good way to look at for women. Yeah, let me look at the women he's, because that matters too. So it's like, it's a lot of things that go into these situations where it's like, nah, bro, just get out here and live your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't about to judge a female based off of like, look, I'm gonna talk. Conversation will have to be, the conversation got to be on point. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm gonna find out who you are. Talk to me, and then we will know. And
hell yeah.
And if you lay out who you are, and she lay out who she is, you be like, yeah, but nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then if she passes that, then it's like, let me see how you living, right?
You mean the halfway point?
Yeah, because now I need to know how you living, like, and then I gotta meet your friends. So these are, bro, it's a process in relationships with women.
I don't know about the friend thing, right? I don't know about the friend thing. Not to cut you off,
no
Brandon.
bull,
no, you good.
I don't know about the friend thing, right? I don't know about the friend thing, right? Because
hey, go ahead. I'm gonna let you.
My girl has a friend who ain't shit. So I'm just trying to tell you.
Hey, but we got niggas who ain't shit. We got niggas who we know ain't shit though.
Fact.
And but I would tell you my nigga ain't shit though.
Yeah, but that's true.
But I'm not that female. First, I won't let none of my female friends holler at my nigga who ain't shit. Okay?
That's facts.
Because then that's gonna mess up our friendship.
Same.
And vice versa though.
But if I give you the warning, because like James had a podcast like bros before hoes type conversation or whatever, right? And the whole thing with me is if she's like my female friend, because I got female friends just as tight as me as I do male friends. Right. But at the same time, like if she my real friend, I got to tell her like, look, I'm gonna tell you that's not what you want. Now I won't go into detail about him,
right?
Just like I wouldn't go into detail about her. Look, that's not what you want to do. Yeah. That's not what you want to do. Now, if you so happen to do that, we'll be prepared for whatever outcome that you get from it. Right. I told my cousin not to fall in. I'll give my cousin, for example, told him not to fall in love with a particular girl. Like, dog, she tried to fuck me when she just met me. Like, dog, I'm not trying to tell you to be with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to hit it, hit it. But don't be with her. This man was with her for the next 10 years of his life.
Wow.
She had 5 kids.
Wow.
I never did nothing with her. She had 5 kids, but I'm trying to tell you, you can go for what you go for.
And that's
so that's on you.
And look, dude, with the friend situation too, like, it's like, bro, like, at the end of the day, I put my friends and my associates in boxes, right? So you never gonna get like best friend tags, bro. Please, bro. I got this one cat, he good at business. I got this one dude, he funny as hell. I got this other cat, he's an author, right? So he put me on game. Bama's going boxes.
Conversations are different.
Exactly. And with women, a lot of times they put the women get in their lives and they kind of seep their way into best friend status, or get kind of like they have like the overall like hub of like how a friendship should be. And then if you mess up that mold, then it's and for me it's like, nah, bro.
That's when men got to be strong.
Right. And we tell you about like, hey, look, she's good. Just keep her in this box and you can be straight. And that's the thing. It's like, and you can't let people go past certain points. If somebody lie all the time, but they always know where the good deals is, bro, hit them for the good deals. Give them a slight conversation, and that's it, bro. Be on point. It's your duty to categorize people, bro. That's your responsibility.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
That don't mean like, oh, I got a cousin. That's my man. He lie all the time, and I know he lying. It's just something I come to accept. Like, I know he lying from teenage years. He was that nigga. Like, if he called you and like, yo, I got a party, I got these females, you don't go.
Bad.
Nah. And that's,
you don't go.
And I miss it. And I was just trying to tap in. I was trying to tap into the categories, but you right though, bro. Like I'm not negating. I'm just trying to tap into the categories of how I place Bam. It's like you get
nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
you're right.
And so like
because
some cats you just get cut off because they ain't got no value. I'm not profiting. There's no profit there in that relationship. So then Bama's get cut off.
I feel you.
You know what?
That's what you do.
Yeah.
I'm not like
y'all both right.
He right too. It's just the value that you place on friendship. That's all. It's about what you place.
I place a whole lot of value on friendship.
Homies who ain't worth shit.
Yeah.
But if I call them niggas right now and tell them I got a problem, They'll pull up.
But you got profit there. You got that's so what I'm saying.
But they
is
still like my best friends though.
Right,
They still like my best friends.
But you got profit. You know they down for you anytime, any day, right? So that's a profit. You know you could profit off that relationship. I'm talking about the cats who like they actually they eat.
I don't want that damn shit.
They eat
I don't know what this is.
They not, but you can't eat nothing off of them.
I don't like it.
You get no value out of it.
Take me down. Take me up.
This ain't the same stuff.
You just giving. You just giving all the take.
Huh?
Straight weed in there.
Straight weed.
Why would I put that? Why would I put some on this?
Just think straight weed. Keith, don't criminate yourself, brother. Let me say.
Oh, first of all, where I'm at is like totally legal, so I don't give a fuck.
I know. I'm just talking shit. Shoot, I normally smoke on each episode, but I have my son, and so that's why I ain't smoke. But every episode, you'll see me hitting the joint.
Today was Daddy. See, Daddy gets sun at nighttime, so then during the daytime, Daddy is off.
Man, what are y'all hoping to start, go wrap this up? What are y'all like we have talking about women? What are y'all, like you're hoping to accomplish in the next few years or in your legacy? What do you want to leave out? What impact you want to leave?
Hey, we didn't even let Bruce answer the question.
I can answer that.
Oh, go ahead, Bruce. Go ahead, Bruce. Because I missed some because I was doing my son. Go ahead, Bruce.
What's the question on women? You said.
I don't want to sit on.
Yeah. And put your light on, brother.
I know I'm camouflaging right now. I know I am. You know what I'm saying?
I know you extra crispy right now. Extra crispy.
Darkest person on the podcast.
I'm on my Black Panther mode, nigga. I'm auditioning for Black Panther 2.
I think I'm doing one
that natural night camo.
But nah, I would say I would agree with what everybody said. It's mostly about love language. I know when I was younger, it wasn't really. I mean, we would talk love. It's just like R&B. Yeah, you sweet talking women, but ultimately it was just trying to knock them down. That's just all it was. But now, like you said, it's just love language, man. It's you're not trying to play nobody, you're not trying to get hurt, because people be emotionally invested in you, and you can actually hurt somebody that's truly at your back. That's your friend in XYZ. So I would say just studying people's comprehending love language and just being honest and true, regardless in how you feel. Just keep it 100. If it's good or bad, just simple as that.
It make your life easier too, doing that way.
Yeah, because you ain't got to remember nothing. You ain't got to remember when you said something 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
The same answer going. A lie can change within a few weeks, but the truth always remains the same.
The honesty is always the same, and that comes with age, though.
The value in it is crazy, bro.
I'm with age.
The value in it is crazy, man.
That's true.
And that's why it is important about the people you hang around too. Because even like in LA, I used to hang around people that allowed to disrespect me or embarrass me and things like that. And I kind of feel like I did. That was kind of a thing I carried over from even like high school and stuff. It was just like, and I had to change my circle. Like before I had my son, I was hanging like football here, and I built a lot of relationships with them out here. And I really appreciate myself with single dads, married men, and I was noticing myself like hanging around them more than these dudes that was chasing hoes all the time. Because that's what I used to hang with. But they people like they always carry themselves the way I like. So I had to learn. I had to learn that. I had to learn to jag on. Be around. You got to be around the circle. Even you guys. Like I made sure I was particular on who I invited into the podcast. I want to have the right circle. Men who are about their business. Because black men, we get a lot of flack. We get a lot of flack. So it's like, if I could use this platform, I'm gonna need you guys to help do this, push this episode stuff, and we can impact people and have people because the goal with this episode is hoping people, paint branch, other people who knew us and stuff, see this and feel inspired. Like, damn, look at the homies and stuff, like we grew up and shit like that. And they may feel like, man, was men or women, they just like, damn, these men, despite everything, these brothers got it together. They doing their thing, and it might inspire others and really push our community and stuff like that. So this episode is bigger than just us talking. I want to get this message out there. So when I'm attacking y'all motherfuckers and when I post this and stuff like that, just share it. When I send you the link, send it to your friends, because we want people to this is a long ass episode though, so I don't know everybody can watch 3 hours. So I'm just gonna have it chopped up to YouTube into pieces, the sections, so people can watch. Like, hey, catch this right here. Post some shit on my Instagram page. So I'm gonna post, but I want this. I'm hoping like this was the impactful moment. I'm hoping right here, just this. I hope you guys in this talk just had a lot of growth and understanding. Just like, again, I would never thought back in 18 that we was all gonna be tight and come full circle. And we over here on a podcast talking about when we were younger and stuff like that. So I wanted to just like put that together, and I'm thankful y'all came on. And you have any final words or any words, anything y'all got to say in terms of relationships, in terms of, or just anything? Y'all got anything y'all feel like
I'll jump in there with that, as far as final words. And when it comes to relationships, like, like with me, I was never a serial dater. I mean, before I met my wife, I was single for 8 years. Like, my last relationship before her was college. And a part of the reason why was going back to what Bruce was saying, you get to the point where you don't want to leave nobody on. Like, honesty is just, you don't got to think about it. You don't got to lie to nobody. And I honestly I wasn't built to be a player and trying to lead people on. Like, that's just not who I was. I knew what I wanted. And a lot of women couldn't give it to me at that time, or I couldn't give the ladies what they wanted at that time. So I just remained single until I met someone that met me on a certain level, and she was able to grow with me. So on the relationship level, I mean, like, I deal with a lot of people when it comes to relationships that are older than me. Like, me and Brandon talk all the time. And like, when it comes to relationships, he's been with his wife, I think, since 2014. Like, I just got married last year. So he's older than me when it comes to this. I talk to people that's been in the game, and I take their advice on a lot of different things. And I relate to what I can relate to. I don't take anything as Bible or gospel because everybody's different. So you just got to stay true to yourself and be honest with yourself. Because if you lie, bro, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But when you honest,
it's hard being honest to ourselves, though. It's hard being honest to ourselves. That looking at the mirror and like
that's why you got to just do it.
Look,
like, man, you got to be honest.
Yeah, honesty is more so is accepting your reflection. You got to be able to accept your reflection.
Yes.
When I smile in the mirror, that mirror better smile back. If it don't, something broken.
And you know what I mean?
And look, hey, Bruce, and don't let that slip. It be times where it don't smile back. And you got
exactly. And you got to check yourself. And I've had to, I've had to do that shit a lot, which is the only reason why I can say that I am married right now, because I had to check myself. Because there are times where she was like, "What the F you doing?" And I'm like, "Damn, yeah, you right." Like, I get caught up in, I was single for a long time, so my mentality is go back to being single. And she's gonna check me on that. When it comes to
allow ourselves to be checked too, though, and I always try to have friends around. Even you guys,
go away,
bro. Out here, LA, like, you have people check you, even having the right woman to check you. But a lot of men, not you guys, but just especially a lot of brothers, ain't built for a woman to check them the way they to get better. So they take that as being too much attitude or strong minded. And it's just like, no, she's just like, no, nigga, I'm trying to elevate yourself.
Go back to the first thing.
I mean, if she's speaking truth, like, if she's telling you your sock is on for you should pick up your mess, like, pick up your mess. If she's speaking facts, you can't even look at it as attitude. You know what I mean?
It's more boys out here, Bruce. It's a lot of baby boys, a lot of Jodies.
You gotta just
Hey, but go back to the
I'm trying to tell you, when a woman is with a man, she always want to make them better. I promise you that. She don't want to do nothing that's losing, depreciating in value. I'm telling you that right now. If she's investing her time, she's trying to make your she's a great asset. I'm just,
bro. That's why I was talking about earlier. Hold on. I'm gonna say one more thing. Just go back to the first thing that I said. I said I found a woman that was willing to grow with me.
Right.
That's the thing. She was willing to grow with me. That's the key.
Yes.
That's the key.
So
I like that.
So the veggie back off of Edwin, like, you ain't I think a lot of fellas be trying to like get in position and think they're gonna get in position before they can develop a relationship, bro. And they got to get out of that mindset. Like, you find the right one, you don't have to be where you want to be, bro. You can.
But how do you know if you got the right one though? Because there's so many women, Brandon. So brother might be like, this the one.
See, that's
Man, she's comfortable. She's comfortable in the shotgun. She's comfortable by your side.
That's a
There's
problem.
a lot of. That's how women are built. They
Nah,
comfortable.
Nah, you're gonna know. You're gonna know when it's not. You're gonna know when it is.
You can go with it. You can have a conversation. Look, you gotta be intentional yourself, bro. And this goes to you, right? Like not you personally, but like me, right? When I'm talking to myself, bro, I had to be intentional on my first date, on my second date. I gotta get answers. I gotta know what I'm doing. I gotta know where I'm going. And I'm not saying that you gotta be so intentional that you take the humanism out of it. But I'm saying you got to be so intentional that you already know who you are enough to know where you're trying to go, where you're trying to grow into, and if that person fits the mold. And you can't. But
Brandon, you always had a purpose, though. You knew your purpose.
No, I didn't. Already built. No, don't get it twisted, bro.
You have more of a purpose than I've seen others.
Yeah, but bro, don't.
Everybody's born with purpose.
Yeah, everyone born with purpose.
If you didn't have purpose, you wouldn't be alive.
But you don't always know.
Everyone got purpose.
You can't always know your next. You're not gonna always know your next steps. You're not gonna always know how you moving is right. You're gonna question yourself. You're gonna have a lot of self-doubt. Bro, I want everybody to know about me at least. Dude, the picture is painted by God, bro. So what you see is a blessing. I don't get to determine what you see. I just live it out. So when you don't see the struggle, because you don't see the struggle, that's God. I think I have gratitude for that. Because you don't get to see me struggling. You don't get to see me frustrated, bro. You don't get to see me try to knock down bills and try to move things out the way. You don't get to see the nitty gritty. And hey, look, by my side is a woman. Hey, I must be doing a damn good job navigating the nitty and gritty because she's still by my side. But dude, that don't mean that when I'm in the midst of it, I ain't looking at her like, bro, like, oh my God, yo, how are we gonna get through this? And then there's days where it's like, how are you going to get us through this? So as a man, bro, you got to always remember, bro, you're not going to be, you have no playbook. You don't have a script. You're going to figure it out as you go. So stop trying to get perfect before you get in a relationship. Because the minute you got your idea of perfect, you're going to try to put her in a position, in a role, and try to play on your screenplay in a role that you done created because you done got what you wanted to perfection. Bro, when she comes in, she gonna alter your perfection. So be ready for rooms in your house, in your mind to be destroyed. Ready for boxes and TVs to be knocked over. Figure it out, bro. Stop trying to like wait till you get it together because you don't need to try to add her to a script you done already written. Let her write it with you.
That script gonna get deleted off the break because
let her write it with you.
I'll tell you right now,
like
man. There's nothing better than have a strong woman behind you. Like, I never expected it, never was looking for it, but it came, and it never left. And I'm so thankful that she didn't leave. Cause when I was down on the bottom, she made me pick myself up. She didn't ask me to pick me up for her. She was like, I don't know who you are. You need to change. You need to fix this for myself. It wasn't for her. She's just looking at me like, I'm like, bro, what is you doing? And I was like, yeah, you're right. I got to get back to being me. Like, that's a strong ass woman right there. She ain't even thinking about her. She looking at me talking about you need to change yourself for yourself. Like, bro, like, dog, that's something I will forever be thankful for. Forever.
I wanted before we get off, what about co-host who's normally on every episode? She had Easter stuff today. She's on. I wanted to show her some love and stuff like that. Because she's from DC too, but she lives in LA. So if Imani, you just came in. I can show some love to Imani.
Hey,
Hi, Queen. How you doing? Hi, beautiful. Hi, how are y'all?
What you saw from the little you came in?
Y'all were having some good old conversation. I'm mad I couldn't, make the entire thing, but of course I will watch it. I mostly wanted to get on to say hello, to wish JT a happy birthday. some 2 days. But yes, to wish you a happy birthday. Just to get on and show some love. Sounds like y'all was spitting some good knowledge. I like your mindset. I was over here like clapping in silence and everything. So yeah, just wanted to show some love. And DC stand up, by the way. And hi, Charlotte. Sorry.
Hi, beautiful.
Yeah, hi, beautiful. Yeah. That's good though. But
no, I was just saying go ahead, Charlotte.
No, I just wanted to say, just sitting back and listening to what everyone was saying, just in regards to women. I think if we had a longer time, actually, just based on what I was hearing, it sounds like everyone on the panel that was speaking have a strong sense of self, and that is why I feel like they're able to have these type of women, these strong women in their life, where they don't feel emasculated by them. And I feel that sometimes men who are in different tiers, different levels or different levels of maturity, sometimes, as much as I feel they want a strong woman, that sometimes they're not ready to be with that strong woman. I'm not talking about a strong woman who's telling you what to do, but trying to be there beside you, trying to be there to support you, trying to be there to build you up as well as herself, and build yourselves up as a couple. And I think JT, I think that you should revisit this topic with these gentlemen on another podcast and call it like When Brothers Speak, because I feel like each one of them are on a higher tier than some of the other conversations that I personally had in regards to that topic. And I think it would be very good. That's my whole point. I would love to go on more and ask more questions, but I think you should think about
because these brothers are out here in California, these people really know what to do with their mindsets and stuff like that. And I'm glad you said the sense of self, because a lot of Cali men and a lot of brothers, period, don't get a sense of selves. And it could be into their 30s or into their 40s. I know niggas out here, I don't know how it is back home. I'm sure it is. But I know niggas in their 40s and 50s out here still hoeing and still trying. I'm like, you ain't got no goals to chill the fuck out? I was like, you ain't got no goals. It's just like, they said, but it's so much around. Like, it's not, back home, it's not like LA at all when it comes to it.
I mean, they do the same thing out here.
JT, you have to
same thing out there.
You have to, JT, let's be honest. We are actors and creatives in the LA space with individuals who are not there to be supportive. They're there to become famous or stars or whatever they think that they're trying to do. It's not a passion. So you can't speak on those people. You need to speak about the circle that you've now created with, we talked a lot about that.
Yeah.
With the creatives that you have now that have a different mindset that align more with yours, and just done with those people, like they don't need, like, you have your circle and they can be like, it's like a tree. When you cut a tree open, you see all those circles, they're on the outside. They're not in your inner space. Stop allowing these people with no value to you to enter into your space.
Go ahead.
You are too elevated to keep these people. And I know I'm just going to keep on going.
Yes,
and we need to keep this closed. I know I love you. Your birthday's in 2 days. I celebrate you. Yeah. You're an amazing person. You know, I say this about you. We've talked, I know you're working on all kinds of things. And, I just think that you were speaking about your confidence. And I think that yourself, your confidence, your own self-love, and is what you should focus. And obviously your family and your creative and the people that are really in your circle, and stop worrying about these other folks and the LA people, because we know, we live there, we understand it. They're not great.
Control your vibe, man.
Control your environment.
And that's why
we're here. I'm very much like that, but control your environment.
That superficial shit don't mean nothing.
You said what, Edwin?
I said the superficial shit don't mean nothing. Look, superficial conversation is the most boring shit on earth. That's like you meet somebody at the bus stop and just talk. Man, superficial conversation is whack as fuck.
I call it on the surface.
Absolutely.
When we talking about what we looking at, when we talk about what we seen,
yeah, bro.
We not really speaking heart to heart. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't here for that.
And that's why I didn't bring. That's why I was particular on who I invited on too. Granted, everybody couldn't make it, but I was like, let me over invite so I could get the people who can get it on. And I was like, if I could get a good 7 to 8 people, be solid, you know, because the brothers I know got all going to speak and represent well.
I'm chilling with the in-laws because it's Easter, so I done missed the whole hour. I was like, oh shit, it's 7 o'clock.
No,
I was cooking, so I was the same boat, bro.
Yeah, and I was trying to stretch it out a little bit because I knew somebody else would get on late. So, you know, I was just thankful that, you know, people who can make it, because like I said, it is Eastern, so I knew everybody couldn't make it. People were trying though. Like I talked to like Crystal, Megan, Kelly O'Neill, Kelly Mills flying in town. So I was trying to get like David Nichols. I talked to your brother Brandon. I spoke to him. I was hitting up. I was hitting up like, yo, you trying to be on the pod? Try to be on the pod? You know, because I just wanted to just, you know, we are a special breed of people. Even back, remember in 2003, we kind of didn't have that. We just wanted to get the hell out of high school, but we had a special energy that, you know, it's appreciated. Me living out here, it's appreciated with you motherfuckers, man. So it's like, this is homely. This is like, I couldn't ask for a better bunch of guests for my birthday episode than people I grew up with and grown and learned so much with and things like that. That's helped me become the man that I am today. Any final words, fellas? Anything y'all want to do?
What I say,
love you, bro.
I directed to Brandon. You know what I'm saying? And I love the fact that you're writing and stuff, and you know you're doing your work. Make that goal and make them try to publish that, man. And so just in case something ever happened to you, you have those books there. Your children can read. They can see your thoughts. They can see how their father was feeling. You know what I mean? Because they will see the pictures. You know what I mean? But they're gonna miss out on your voice. You understand what I'm saying? But as long as if your words are there, you're forever living, brother.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part. Is I have the audios, I have recordings. You know, I just need to publish all my stuff. So I'm gonna actually connect with you on backstage, and we gonna.
Bruce, how many books you had total so that people can know how many poetry books you have and where can people find them? And what's your latest one?
Man, I published a few, 12 total. I published. But now I was able to, with all the pieces I did, I was able just to kind of bring them down to just 2 books now that I finalized. I think I published a lot of draft books, but I'm gonna say published a lot of draft chapters. But these 2 final pieces that I have are my final products when it comes to writing poetry, for sure.
That's what's up.
And where can people find it? Yeah.
You can find it on the website. Everything is bdove316. B like black, dove like the bird, 316 like my birthday. .com at, you know what I'm saying? Everything is that. If you'll find all the information there. It's on Amazon as well.
I commend Bruce, like I said early in the pod, for like sticking through, because one thing, you know, people have phases and facades or just like phases in their life. Like, I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to do that. We see a lot of that in LA. You know, people having different phases and stuff. Like, be who the fuck you are. Do you know who you are? You know, but Bruce has always stayed consistent no matter what's going on. He's like, boom, got another project. I got another work. I'm gonna be talking about what's going on. Just working on this piece right there, and that's commendable. You know, in terms of just staying consistent, because it's hard. It's hard in life. You know, same thing with you, Brandon. Like Bruce said, you know, get that book, get them poetries going. You got the podcast you just dropped the first episode today. Keep that shit going. You know, it's got to be consistent. You know, and before you know it, you're gonna be a household name. You know, and it's just so fucking dope that everybody's just growing, man. I'm just happy.
Anything I do, bro, I told you, I ain't know about no celebrity household name. Like Bruce said, you know, your kids want to have something that they can hold on to. You create because you're creative and it's constant. And if you don't create,
I said household. I mean, like even local, like even like
no. Yeah. I'm gonna wrap up, but I was just saying, as a creative, you know that it's a constant flow of information, understanding, and creativity, and you get stuck. If you don't create, then you will go crazy, and we know that.
Man,
so as a creative, you know you gotta do. Even if it means stopping your day because you just had 3 thoughts that made sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold up, let me write that down. And so you just being a creative in general is an obligation to humanity, right? It's an obligation to the people who love you and those around you. And I yield with that, man. I love all of you. Happy birthday, James.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all I gotta
Before
say.
we
Happy
go,
birthday, brother. Love you.
can we sing a happy birthday to JT?
No, we gonna do all that.
Yes.
Yeah, you can add that in. Listen. It's not about we don't have to do all that. I would like us to do that. Would you allow me to do that?
Sure. Go ahead, Charlotte. I want to give Charlotte her flowers
so much
first.
for allowing me to give you the beautiful energy that you sometimes don't want to receive, and the love that's being poured out to you.
Well, I'm not used to receiving the love, so so that's why I was like, let me just bring people.
So I don't know which version we should do. The Canadian one, the US one.
Nobody knows the Canadian one. No.
I can't sing. So.
No, I want y'all to rock with give Charlotte. I want to give her flowers before she goes. Because Charlotte,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Charlotte.
She always held me down in terms of my productions, man.
What's going on? What?
Nah.
I think we said a couple thank yous to you, Charlotte, because he said
I'm trying to give you your flowers and stuff again.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so God bless you.
Yeah, because like I said, my career was falling down the wrong path. Creative, like just business. My business etiquette was never the best, and she just came in. I ain't even asked her to. She just was like stepped in and different projects. Like, you want me to do this? You want me to do that? I'm like, yes, I do. And then eventually, we had I started my production company. We did events. Like, she did help me assistant direct plays. She started them for my plays. She's helped me with our event planning company and stuff like that. We done murder mystery dinners and like so much stuff. And
handful, don't you?
Yeah, she just always kept me in check like a sister,
That's what it sounds like. You sound like he got an invoice coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, they say love. They say love is an action.
Bro. Hey, I'm about to head back out. I gotta go check back over the in-laws.
No worries.
All right, bro.
We can just say happy birthday.
Let's get the happy birthday real quick.
Happy life day, JT. We love you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. That's the song right there. No, I appreciate y'all be blessed. I'm tag y'all. I'm gonna tag y'all. And what I'm also gonna do is I got the podcast page as well, where most of the content from this episode is gonna go into. I know Brandon, you follow and stuff. I don't know Bruce,
the YouTube page.
Hey, let me give you.
I'm gonna do the YouTube page too.
Before we go, I want to give you a gift, right? It's a poem I wrote as a self-reflection piece, but I think you may be able to use it, right? So I'm gonna give it to you on this podcast so you have it recorded. It's called The Test.
Yeah.
You're a remarkable man. Stay your course. Remove the distractions. Fade your remorse. Beat your drum. Add your sum. They'll perceive the negative. You'll carry the one. No news is good news. Move in silence. Make your passion, your craft, a measurable science. Build an alliance. Only feed relations that are within compliance. Make your world shift. Build your foundation based on your gift. No one can tell you what God has to give, and no one can tell you what life to live. Just do your best. Find a way to make the most out of less, because that's the real test, brother. That's the real test.
Respect.
Man.
Yes. I love that. That was dope.
Brandon, Bruce.
That was for me.
That's the real test. You hear that?
Mm-hmm. Charlotte and Imani, if I could keep y'all on after these two get off for like another few minutes and we can wrap up. But
okay.
Bruce, Brandon, thank you guys. Paint Branch all day.
Speaking with you.
03, 05 representing.
Absolutely. Y'all have a blessed one. All right, man.
Blessings to all.
Hey, Bruce, I'm gonna connect with you.
You already know, man. Link up with me.
All right.
All right, y'all. It was nice. It was a pleasure meeting you all. Also, before everybody go, I am running it's a small little promotion. What I'm doing is I'll send anyone that's available to read the book, I'll send you the book completely free, and I'll actually pay you to post a review, your honest review. The books to me is completely free. I just want to get my thoughts and XYZ out there just to see how people receive it. So if anyone is interested, you can just feel free to send me a message. You can send me your address. I can send you a book completely free. You let me know whenever you post a review,
and whenever it's posted, you just however you want to transfer, I'll send it to you. And what I'm doing, it's
like to read it.
It's $10. It's $5 to $10 per review. You know, if you just give the stars and say good book, I mean that's not $10 worth. You know what I mean? XYZ. But if you go in there and you break it down in detail, I'll have that transfer same day. So I just wanted to end with that. James, you already know, happy birthday. Everybody on the podcast, I wish you all a happy Easter. Much love and respect. And hope to see you all soon.
Yes,
love. Y'all have a good one.
Wow.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is the longest episode.
I didn't
But
know
this is the longest episode with actually good content.
I didn't know it was going to go this long. I'm like supposed to be. That's okay.
You had to be somewhere. Well,
oh wow! How is everyone? How are you guys? Imani, how are you, gorgeous? I talked to JT.
Okay.
I haven't talked to you. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm sorry I missed most of the episode, but it sounds like
yeah. I was like, that's why I was like, where is she supposed to be here? But I understand things happen because I was happy to give a couple of questions, but I know you've been doing this, so you know the drill.
Yes.
But honestly,
I figured it would go.
Your friends are actually I admire all of them. They all it was very some of the all of it on the conversation, their perspectives, and they all align. Like your circle, do you realize when you have your circle and people are kind of saying the same thing, which they all were, introspection, self-reflection, all ambition, goals, money, like all that things they were saying. And I was like, that's a good circle, JT. I guess that's a good circle of grown Black men that you have in your life to go to with who all seem to have children, are in relationships that are seem to be a life partner and up, marriage type of thing. So just great. And even their thought process is on a different tier. And I love when he said that. The tiers of men and the tiers of women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, you guys need to do a podcast with whoever you guys pick out of that or whatever. JT, I think that would be because I'm trying to think of all your conversations. But that was a good one because I for me as a woman, a strong Black woman, and a very loving one who wants to build people up. I think sometimes there is a fine line between being who I am and not making a man that may not be mature enough feel emasculated when it's not my intention to emasculate anyone, to make anyone feel less than a man. Because which we all know as women, men want to be men. Men want to be those traditional, we don't like to talk about whether, because the feminist ideology and all this stuff, and because women have had to become heads of households. But the reality is, if every woman looks deep down, none of us want to be head of households. Okay? I don't believe most women, I don't say all because I can't do that. I don't make that generalization. But I don't believe, as strong as I am, I can step in to be head of household if needed, when it's needed. Absolutely. But most women want to be taken care of. Not that we don't do anything and we don't put anything into it. But I feel that, what they were talking about, I think that's a great topic. This idea of that I think that the idea of traditional roles are still there innately in us. And I think that sometimes because of that idea of submissiveness has been now made into a negative. If someone in your life is doing that, you think about that, you submit to your parents. When your parents are talking to you and rearing you and being as a child, and if they're treating you well and providing you love and knowledge and nurturing you with kindness and love, what do? You listen to your parents, you submit to them, right? Because they're taking such great care of you. Just like a woman submits to a man when she feels loved and protected. Those are not I mean, I just realized we're being still recorded. Didn't realize that. But anyway, I'm going on a tangent. But sorry.
Yeah, you were.
Don't use any of that. But I was having like an open conversation with you guys because that's what I felt when they were speaking. When you guys were speaking, I felt like that when they were speaking.
They dropped a lot of gems and insightfulness that, you know, I hope this could get out to, you know. So I'm hoping like, yeah.
I think it was a good conversation. I don't know how you'll edit it because it is long, and I think it would be too long for anyone to sit and really watch. So, but I think you can pull a lot of good things from it, where it would be an interesting watch.
Yeah, and just from the little bit that just from the little bit that I did hear, it was definitely refreshing to hear men, you know, kind of honoring their wives, the women in their lives, especially with the Derek Jacksons. And I've been watching a lot of Kevin Samuels.
Oh my God. Hold my hand, Imani. If I was over there, I would just hold my hand, girl. Hold it tight.
Oh my gosh. He is, don't get me started. Right. But I just started watching him because of JT, because we talked about him the last episode. And I was just like, let me watch this dude. And I was just, he's such an AWOP that is entertaining. But whatever. Nevertheless, it is refreshing to hear men talk, you know, kind of the women that they're with, you know. So I just wanted to say, from the little bit that I did just catch, that's refreshing. That's great. And I agree with Charlotte that could definitely be a future episode to kind of dive deeper into those things.
And she missed it. She missed the meat, Charlotte. She missed all the.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think you could, you know, I know you probably already, JT, have it all in your head what you want to do, but I think there was so much things that were said that kind of made me like go like, wow, like these men have really reflected on themselves and their lives and their experience. And I don't know if that's been enforced or reinforced because they've had children. And so it changed their perspective as well. I don't know if it's because they're married or they found a really good partner in life, or all of those things, because it, just like Imani just said, it was so refreshing to hear men speak of their partners and wives so lovingly and women want to be loved and protected. Like, those are fundamental things that we want. We don't like, you know, there's other things, and yes, there's all types of women, and they might want I don't know, a Louis shoe or Bellagio, I don't know, you know, yes. But yeah, who wouldn't mind that either? No one would mind. But at the end of the day, you really just want to be loved and protected, to feel like you have our back in everything we do. We are a force. Exactly. And I think that, like, in partnerships, that's really what women are looking for. And those things, I think, are the most lacking things from people as a whole, especially the love thing. Look at the world. Like, people don't know. Like, love is the greatest thing that God has given us. God is love. And people don't know how to do that, much less. But, you know, we could just go on and go on. But I think, JT, thank you so much I know I was supposed to be a guest, but I was so happy to just sit back and listen. You know, that's hard for me because you see I'm talking. But they were just, yeah, I didn't have an expectation either way, but how they spoke was something very refreshing. And
does it make you look at me differently?
Does that make me look at you differently? I don't know if it makes me look at you differently. Or understand me better. But what it does, I was like, I didn't know. I think I was surprised to know that you have this group of friends in your life. Because again, remember, I'm only knowing the little bit of friends and interactions, obviously, out in LA, you know, and obviously I'm privy, since being in your life, about some of the, how do I want to put it? Some of the friendships that you've had, especially male friendships that you've had, and how
the ones that dog me out.
Not wrong.
You said that what?
And how they've done you wrong. They've been terrible. Some of those situations, and how you've been treated, is just wrong. And for me, friends don't do that. I'm not saying that, you know, everyone has to take responsibility in what the whole interaction. But at the end of the day, if you're a friend, you take time in your friend. You trying to find out what's going on with them. You know, you don't just throw them to the side. You know, so those are the friends I know.
I'm used to it though. It made me who I am now.
These set of friends, yes, I am happily surprised by these set of friends, and males that are in your life, and they all seem to be creatives as well, and it's like they saw that in you at a young age, and to me they all seemed that they protected you, like they felt like they knew. They didn't say that, but I'm just going off the conversation, like. It's like they met you and they just felt something. And I feel like it's like they knew, I feel like you guys tapped into that creative side without even knowing. You guys are all writers in different facets, which is so interesting.
It's so good to know that, you know, because a lot of it, like somebody was inspired by another, but it's like, you know, it feels good to be able to know that I was a catalyst to many people and being a vessel, you know.
Exactly.
So.
And you didn't know it because they were like, yeah, and you didn't know it because they were all creatives, but they came in a different package than you did. You know what I mean? Like they came in a package where no one really recognized that in them, you know? But for you, it was more challenging and difficult because they could see that, like you are creative, like through and through. Your move, like the way you move, the way you talk, like you know everything. Like people would know and be like, "Yo, what's up? Like, this guy's a little. I don't really understand him, right?" Because I think at the end of the day, it's not that people don't like you; they don't understand you. Like they don't understand this side because they can't appreciate that. They can't appreciate like creatives, especially creative Black men. I feel who are creatives, actors who want to write. There's something, again, because this is what society does, you want to emasculate those type of men. Like somehow they need to, like, they're not, like, men don't do that. Men are not writers, or, which is weird.
And a lot of
read is about our men authors in school all day long, so I don't know.
A lot of sisters subscribe to that though as well. That's why brothers don't be trying to get in that creative side, because it gets them that weird bag, and nobody wants to be labeled as that weird creator.
Right. Which it doesn't make sense. That's why I had asked that question. Like when you guys were younger, did you think there was like what needs to be put in place? Because the creative side, the trade side, because you know, we do well on the athletic side. We know how to do that well in our community, right? We definitely also know okay, on the academic side too, like we know, okay, doctor and lawyer, but the creative side, the trade side of things, we don't get on board with. And that is only, is an influx because the Black community was thriving and booming on having trades as work and having union type jobs, which were then, that's another story, that's another podcast, but we don't, whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. I just think that you have, first of all, you know, I love the podcast. You guys are amazing. Great job, Imani, JT, Kairos out here, but you guys do a great job. I just wish, because I think that, I don't know how for you guys to broaden it more. That marketing piece.
Well, honestly, these days they're making us pay for the promotions and stuff. So unless we have you know, so, you know, all I gotta do is ask people to share it, and then people just share. It's not that hard to share.
That pay thing might be a thing, you know, because I see a lot of people who do that for their brand and marketing stuff, and they do it for a while. And they get this many followers, and before they know it, they don't need that company anymore because the traffic is just, you know, comes. I was looking into do one of those classes. They're quite expensive though. There's a class, but you don't need that because you know what you're doing in regards to the marketing branding side. But I know when we were thinking about it for the stuff that I'm doing on the business side, like those, I mean, they want a lot of, like $1,000, like minimum was $1,000 a month to do the branding and marketing on our social media. And we were trying to get it, negotiate, okay, 500, can you do like, we're just trying to start, you know, but it's like, and that was a low end, like 1,000 was low. Like if she was already going low, which I knew, that's the only thing. But I see people now that have like 500 who are now at like 10,000 because they paid for one of those services. And since they now have that, it's like, they know the keywords. People are coming to their site. So yeah, it's an investment with the right company. That's the only thing too. Don't know which one. There's a bunch of them out there. You don't want to get
some changes that I got to talk to. We don't talk on air about to Imani and Cairo. So, you know,
I think you guys could figure it. I think you guys have a great platform. There's a lot of topics, and you have a lot of well-rounded guests that you could have on.
Well, I want to shout out all those guests. I want to shout out Brandon Conway, Edwin Campbell, Bruce Daley, Keith Sneed, Hosni Ali. Those were all the people that was on the first part of the interview and stuff like that. I think our boy Tim Welch that came on, LA bestie, you know. Who else came on? That was about it right there. And I want to just thank them and thank you, Charlotte, for jumping in.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure.
Hosting with a brother. Imani for jumping in, even if late, he showed up, you know. So, it's better to come late to the party than not come at all. So, you know.
That's true. I just want to thank Charlotte for holding it down. Completely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think when JT said that, he already asked me like I would be a backup sometimes. So I was like, I think that's all good. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to thank my son who was on here for the first couple of hours. I know he's going to do a whole 3 hours or whatever. He's like, I gotta eat. I need that titty. I need the titty. You know, so you know, shout out to him. That was cool. I feel good, you know. Shout out to our Anchor, Spotify, Apple, other platform listeners, YouTube listeners. This will be a long ass episode. You know, I don't know how I'm gonna chop it up right now. I'll figure that out. You know, my birthday's in a couple of days. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna happy to be alive. I got a son.
I was gonna ask what you're gonna do for your birthday.
You know, I have some ideas, but I don't know yet. We'll see. I like to let the universe just align things. Just like the people who came on, I invited a lot of people. I was like, the people who were meant to get on would get on. So, you know, other than that, thank you guys for tapping into the Authentic Podcast, Intriguing Nerds once again. I'm your host, JT. Here, Miss Clapper's First Lady herself, Imani Fe, and special co-host for the episode that held it down, Charlotte Plummer. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, we out this thing. JT here signing off. Thank you for tapping in.
Have a blessed day.
Love it. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Happy Easter. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, turned up
by the way to the max.
We turned up.
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by the way to the max.
We turned up, yeah.
Turned up by